Welcome everybody to our second session of Scarlet Citadel. The group is getting ready to enter the Scarlet Citadel as they have spent a bit of time on the top here on the surface. So as usual, we will do a quick recap and then jump into our session for the evening. So we started last session as our session 1 of this brand new campaign. The game was explained to be set in the world of Abrinus, which is a 2nd edition AD&D world, and this is a new world for most of our players, so most of them won't be particularly familiar with the history of the land, the lore, any of that. So if you're not either, no worries, you get to learn it along with some of the team members. And then every now and again, of course, something will pop up that will likely sound familiar, as well, there's a lot of crossover in some of these worlds of Dungeons & Dragons, so don't be too surprised if you hear some common names. So our group was described as being from the domain of Rosesown in the province of Dwerland. They had all come here in order to take a look at the Scarlet Citadel, which is a world-renowned adventuring locale that brings adventurers from all around the world of Abrinus, particularly the land of Cerelia, and they come here trying to explore it and survive its challenges. It tends to be very familiar to the locals, and again sort of has a reputation even far and wide, so adventurers will come from very long locations, very long distances to get here to check it out. So our group started off in the village of Red Tower. They had all met previously and were discussing how exactly they were going to proceed, and it was in the evening. They were sharing some drinks and some food and enjoying their time in the bar there. The group then, after speaking with the innkeeper, the waitress, getting some food, getting some more drinks, talking amongst one another, they eventually met an individual who turned out to be the tax keeper. The tax keeper went on to explain that he was there to collect the typical tax that is associated with adventurers that are heading into Scarlet Citadel. This is considered to be a fairly typical run-of-the-mill charge. It is indicated as being reasonable and used specifically for the goal of making sure that there is safety in the village of Red Tower. So if any individuals come to adventure in the Scarlet Citadel, and perhaps they might stir up some trouble there and bring any kind of trouble outside of it, there's obviously guards and things at the village of Red Tower, but this money is used to maintain that force and continually upgrade the town as best they can. A fairly modest sum of 1 gold piece per individual that is going to investigate Scarlet Citadel. And so each of our player characters paid that sum and gave up their name, except for, I'm trying to remember who it was. One person gave a fake name. I think it may have been Elliot who gave the fake name, and Hugo tried to prevent the tax collector from seeing his face. However, eventually it seemed as though he sort of intentionally moved to get a good look at Hugo's face, and also jotted down some notes, which the group later discussed and determined this was likely getting some descriptions of the player characters before they headed off to Red Tower. Once that was complete and the group spent the night there in the inn, they found themselves very excited and ready to go in the morning. They woke up then the next morning and started making the rounds after they exited the inn, hit pretty much on their way to exit Red Tower and head right for the Scarlet Citadel. The guard at the gate asked them if they were headed to Scarlet Citadel. The team said, yes, we already paid our tax, and he said, that's great, and then also indicated to them that if they were interested, there was a historian in town that they may want to go visit. Matilda, the historian, is said to have been in Red Tower for quite a long time, and it was likely that she was going to have some information that the player characters might find of use, and she knows more about the Scarlet Citadel than most people in the area, so the group decided that, yeah, that would be worthwhile to go and check that out. So the group made their way through the village of Red Tower, went to her home, and had a brief friendly chat with her where she served them some tea and explained that there has been a lot of adventurers over the years that have come to the Scarlet Citadel, but the last group that came has been at least a few months. When adventurers go into the Scarlet Citadel, of course, not all of them return, so she indicated that there would likely be some various treasures and possessions of adventurers in there that the group, if they recover, they are free to keep. They're obviously, if it's something prominent that was known to belong to somebody may try to claim it, but by rule, it would be voluntary up to the individual to return that item as long as they can, make the case and prove that it was indeed found within the Scarlet Citadel. Matilda also explained to the group, or asked them, if any of them were scions of the ancient bloodlines, meaning that they had a bloodline themselves. And our group was cagey on this, decided not to answer directly, sort of beat around the bush a little bit at first. And I think eventually Elliot explained that yes, he did. So Matilda went on to explain that there are some artifacts, and or somebody did, I forget who it was exactly. I thought somebody mentioned to Matilda that yes, they were. But regardless, she mentioned that there were some artifacts inside of Scarlet Citadel that may contain sort of traces of scions of past that have entered the Scarlet Citadel and not returned. And she indicated that she knows how to perhaps pull those memories from those artifacts and maybe even be able to pull apart some of the power that was bestowed upon them. AKA, she might be able to increase individual scions' bloodlines by recovering those types of artifacts. So with the group having that information and a bit of information about Scarlet Citadel itself, they decided to leave Red Tower and make their way to the Scarlet Citadel. So the group then exited out of Red Tower, decided to make a wide berth around the pond near the edge of the village there, worried that when some of the information they received in town said you'll head that way, avoid the pond, and then go to Scarlet Citadel, that this meant that there was something dangerous perhaps about the pond. So the group decided to avoid that, going through the farm fields, eventually made their way to Scarlet Citadel proper, which is only a couple of miles away from Red Tower. Once they arrived, they found that the Scarlet Citadel was very much in ruins, and there was a lot of broken cobblestone ground with a lot of greenery growing through those cobblestones, and the group decided to slowly begin investigating it. As they approached, they could see that there was sort of a main entrance where likely a gate hung in years past, but does currently not hang there, as it's probably for many years has not been there. Some of the wall had actually turned to rubble, and the group actually managed to climb over one part of this rubble. And again, I'm going to go with Elliot, because I think it was Elliot that climbed first, got to the top, it was Corin this time. This one I remember. Corin climbed to the top, looked around, and then indicated that should he continue going on or come back to the group didn't want to get split up, so the group started pushing in. Eventually, the group discovered this large, shaggy mound of fur off in the distance that seemed to hear them. This turned out to be some type of large bird-bear hybrid that charged the group. At first, it seemed as though the group was prepared to flee from this creature, as it looked very powerful and dangerous. So the group started backing away, but one brave adventurer among the team, Hugo, decided to charge it and face it full frontal assault upon the creature. As he charged forth, stabbed forward towards it, missing the creature, he then realized the dangerous predicament he was in. As the next opportunity the creature had, it just struck him very violently to the ground. Luckily for Hugo, there was Armony, who had climbed over the wall and threw a quick healing spell upon him to make sure he did not expire on the ground there. And the rest of the team continually added some damage to the creature, throwing both spells, arrows, slashes, everything they could at this creature, and eventually managed to slay it. After suffering some wounds there among the team and killing that creature, the group then pushed in a little bit farther. They started hearing the sound of this song that floated around the entire area here, the courtyard of the Citadel. And this song, depending on whether or not the individual characters succeeded on their saving throws, either sounded very beautiful and attracted the individual, or sounded very horrible, like screeching. It turned out this was a creature with wings, and it looked somewhat humanoid, but had clawed, taloned feet, and then wings, and engaged the team in combat. The team was doing their best trying to defeat this creature, eventually shaking free some of the other individuals who were caught in this compulsion effect and damaging the creature significantly before it decided it had enough and decided to flee, flying over the walls of the Scarlet Citadel and out of the line of sight of the characters. It was very badly wounded before it managed to evade the group, so we don't know exactly where that's at, but the team then pushed in just a little bit further into the courtyard, and that is where we find ourselves now. So team, that was a fairly extensive, in-depth recap there, but does anybody have anything I missed there that they would like to add?
We were told that we get a discount from Mayor Wislaw. Just mention the mayor, and we're going to Scarlet Citadel, and we get a discount at the local shops in Red Tower.
Yes, good addition. Go ahead and take inspiration for that, Elliot. So, right, when Vernon, the tax collector, was speaking to the team in the inn there, he did indeed explain that if you mention the mayor's name at some of the shops, they will give you a discount as he's extended his hospitality to you, letting you know that, or letting the shopkeepers know that you're an adventurer, and to basically give you a good deal on goods. Good addition there. Anything else anybody has to add? Okay, hearing nothing else, I will assume that was sufficient as I bring our team over to the map where we left off on.
I will say, since no one mentioned it, and we're already rolling, and I got inspiration that the actual bricks of the Scarlet Citadel were painted red by an artist, unnamed, for I think each person that's fallen in the Citadel and not come back. So
I
Another
think
great
that would.
addition. I'll let you go ahead and give somebody else inspiration on the team, but yes. So that note that was given to you, I believe it was Matilda that actually gave you that information, and she explained that the building inside of Red Tower, or the village of Red Tower, which is actually literally a red tower, she explained to you that it wasn't always red. It actually started off as typical stone, but each time an adventurer falls in the Scarlet Citadel, an unknown artist then paints a single brick red. And when you guys looked at this tower, it was almost entirely solid red.
thanks, Adam. I'll give inspiration to our resident healer, Libby.
All right, inspiration to Harmony then. Go ahead and add that to your character sheet. And team, we pick up here in the courtyard. Unfortunately, Corin's player is not with us today. Being that we're a 5-man team, I will control Corin. If you guys have something particular you would like him to do, just mention to him, and we'll play it by ear.
Goran, hand over all your funds.
Yeah, he's not going to go for that.
I'm gonna come back here to where everybody's at. Oh, I think we're still locked.
You are indeed. There we go.
Last sesh.
The creature that we encountered, could I try and figure that out, or what that was with nature? If it's not nature, I'm not doing it.
Which one specifically? The large hairy one or the one that flew away?
The one that flew away.
Well, let's
He's not
take a peek at what type of creature this is. Okay, yeah, I think nature could apply to this. Go ahead and give me a blind nature check. I would say that in the swamps of Markazor, where Grask is from, he may have heard tales of these winged demons, is what they would likely refer to them as, that sing this terrible song, but it has a chance of ensorceling individuals, causing them to approach and not mind that the creature just tears them apart. Individuals that travel and stumble into one of these creatures are often never seen again. It is recommended always to be with a group when traveling through areas that these creatures might inhabit, and he probably has heard the name Harpy associated with this creature.
That creature, Harpy.
Do they usually fly alone or hunt in packs?
Do I know that?
I would say based on your check, it depends. They don't have any typical set kind of thing where like they're most common in individuals or most common in packs. There's times where there's like small collections of them. You almost think of them as like a small clan, but I would say more likely, you're more frequently would think of them as being smaller groups.
Depends what they hunt. If they need to hunt something big, there might be more. This one came at us alone.
Trying to seize an opportunity. What was that, Hugo? Sorry.
Does anybody have any like small scraps of cloth or anything like that? Just in case we come upon another one of those things, we stuff our ears, can't hear that horrible screeching.
Worth a try.
Yeah, I think we all could probably rip off a small piece of our cloaks or something. It's a good thought. Uh, but there's this staircase here, but there's also we didn't really go too far in on the other sides. Should we explore this ground level first?
Yeah, I don't like the idea of leaving anything with something that's hidden and can come on behind us or something like that. So let's check everything.
All right.
Lead the way.
We'll just start where we saw that. Um, I can't remember. I think one of us did identify it as a eagle-like owlbear, but I'm pretty sure we saw it over here first. Adam, can I see if it was like nesting? Is there any carcasses or anything over in this area?
As you enter this area, Elliot, you do notice that there is a collection of bones and other pieces of animal scraps, you might think of it as. There is some hair and some loose, odd feathers that are sort of scattered about in this area. And then, of course, the northeast wall is totally rubble. So you can see it is piled up much like, or I should say, the northwest wall, as a reminder, north is right on this map, much like the southeast wall was when you first entered the Scarlet Citadel.
Anything around that corner there, Harmony?
Did I see anything?
Nothing of particular interest. It just looks run down. You see no objects, nothing like that that draws your attention, Armin.
Place is in rough shape.
It's the top level. I mean, it's seen all sorts of weather and.
Do the stairs lead up or they lead down?
They lead up.
From this distance, Adam, can I make out anything in this room over here?
So as a reminder, to your south, over to there, can you make anything out? Nothing sticks out to you. And as a reminder for anybody watching along or for our players, as it's been a week, the location just to the south here, where there's all these sort of crenellations, just as a reminder, that is at a higher elevation. So while we have the advantage of seeing through it, you technically would not be able to see through those openings at the ground level.
So don't be metagaming.
What am I seeing in this area? I'd like to like poke around a little and see why it's got its own sort of entrances.
Sure, go ahead and give me a blind check, Harmony, as you poke around this area and see if anything sticks out to you. So you can tell that this is a sort of outbuildings that have collapsed over long periods of time. There does not seem to be anything of much interest here as you're looking through, kind of pushing through some of the greenery that's poking through the cobblestones. Nothing like that. However, as you are searching, your eyes are drawn a bit to the north. As you can see, over in this area where this pile of rubble is, there's some type of a metal ring that is sticking through the rubble that you're only able to spot once you lower your head and kind of poke around the ground here. You look that way, you really wouldn't have been able to spot it from standing up, but you do spot it now.
Ooh, shiny. Did I pull on this ring?
As you get closer to it, Harmony, and ask this question to your companions and look down, it is not a ring that would go on a person's finger. Think of it more or less like a ring on a trapdoor, perhaps. But it is absolutely covered in rubble, and as you can touch the solid ring here, you can't even wiggle it at all, as there's rocks and chunks of debris both on top of it and in between it and whatever it is attached to.
We probably have to clear the area around it.
I start moving rocks.
Okay, as you start to move some of these, you realize there is an immense amount of rubble on top of this, and you're thinking this is going to be a significant amount of work, especially if you have to do this yourself.
Grass will move up and start helping.
You guys curious?
I can keep an eye out for you.
It's probably the way in, isn't it?
Could be. But looking up those stairs there, I mean, we never really know.
Yeah. Well, I think I might go check upstairs here. It's probably just like a lost floor or something like that up there.
Well, move quietly and don't engage nothing. If you see something, turn around.
All right. Yeah.
The harpy we ran into was alone. It doesn't mean that it is alone. If you're
Well,
caught
just wanna
alone,
take
you're
a
dead.
peek.
Right on, man.
You're welcome to come with me if you want moving rubble, but just to make sure.
Okay, so Grask and Armony, as you begin this process of starting to clear rubble, between the two of you, after spending, say, 5 minutes or so, you realize that this is going to be measured in hours before you're able to get any kind of clearance on this thing, just due to the massive amount of rubble on top of this. Hugo, during this time, you said you would like to head up those stairs and see what's up there?
Yeah, I'm gonna try to sneak up the stairs.
Sure, go ahead and throw me a blind skill check as you attempt to sneak up the stairs. Alright, and you go ahead and move your token to where you would like as you want to investigate up there.
Grass is going to stop moving the rubble. I'm not going to exhaust myself before we know this place is safe.
Yeah, I'll get up to like this landing here.
Alright, as you get up to about there, Hugo, and scope out that area, you notice the entrances to both the secondary and main keeps are one floor above the ground level of the courtyard. Stone steps ascend 10 feet to a solid stone walkway that connects the two doorways. The doors are long gone from both doorways. So in case that wasn't clear to you like it was to me when I first read this description, it's referring to this here, this doorway here, and then this doorway here.
Okay.
Well, my thought process is if we get in there and we see the other side of this trapdoor, it'd be a way to get out fast.
I mean, I get that, Harmony, but you're talking about a couple hours of labor just to clear something that might be.
I'm just saying, if we go in the same way all these other folks have gone in, we might end up at the same fate.
All right. I'm not. Hugo won't go further really, without the group. I don't think so. He'll just come back there.
Sure, yeah, feel free to do so.
There's a couple of floors there, some rooms. I didn't go too far in.
We should check it out. I mean, if there ain't nothing up there, then I don't see the harm in moving that rubble.
Agreed.
Maybe that's the secret way that those people that ran into, only I can assume, were the owl bears. Or maybe the harpies, but feathers and fur, they fought.
Maybe. Well, let's go scope this place out, man.
All right. My first here.
I'm gonna clip my crossbow into my little clip on my back, and then I'm gonna switch to my sword and shield combo.
Okay.
I'll try to do it stealthily again if possible.
Alright, yeah, you once again try to walk up those steps. Feel free to do so.
Yeah, I don't know about the rest of you guys, but I think we should all try to be quiet.
Agreed.
No problem.
So I'm gonna try to ascend the stairs quietly as well, Adam.
Okay. Alright, as you make your way over there, Hugo, and looking south now into this room, you can see this looks to be more like the main keep, and there's several floors above it, but all of them have been destroyed, as in The floors above, the wood floors, are gone. You can see maybe some jagged planks of wood and that sort of thing that would indicate the different floors, but there's certainly no way to get up there, and there's really nothing up there at this point. In the east part of the room, along the east wall there, it looks like there is a location where there probably was a trapdoor at one time, but the trapdoor has just completely rotted through, and all that's left is a jagged hole in the ground where the trapdoor likely originally was. The floor here surrounding this does contain several bones and odd feathers here and there, and you can get a bit of an off odor as well, Hugo, seeming to come from this area.
The room that I'm in, Adam, like on this side, it looks like there's more light. Is this whole room have a ceiling, or is the ceiling collapsed over here?
The ceiling there is same deal, where the floors are gone above you. You can just see sort of where they used to be, based on little pieces of wood or some beams of the rafters kind of thing, but nothing that really supports anything. Nowhere to go up there. The staircase that you're seeing obviously would have gone up to the second floors, but now just leads to nowhere.
Can I see like a door entrance anywhere along the wall here?
No.
I'm gonna say, Hugo, keep your eye on that hole. I'm gonna go try to round everybody up.
All right. I'll wait.
And I'm gonna whisper around the corner to Grask and say, "Hey, I believe Hugo's found something in this other room here."
As you make your way to here, Grass, to your southeast, you see what looks to be an intact trapdoor.
What did he find?
A caved-in trapdoor hole. Smells like piss.
Can Hugo try to listen for the harpy?
You can. I will just throw out a quick reminder, Hugo, because of that level of exhaustion you suffered from getting knocked to the ground, all your checks are being made at disadvantage. But yes, go ahead and throw a blind check to see if you hear anything. No, it is quiet other than the sounds that your companions are making or the occasional sound of an animal off in the distance.
If you don't want to go down the trapdoor that smells like piss, I found another one back here.
Well, let me just look down it, right? See what's down there.
Suit yourself.
All right. You got my back, don't you, Harmony?
You know it, man.
Right on. Alright, so Hugo will I'm gonna walk over to the trapdoor and look down.
Yes, the closer you get to this hole in the ground here, Hugo, the odor intensifies. It is a very awful reek odor that is coming up out of there. Looking down, you can see a small ladder essentially built into the east wall there that you presume that when this was originally built, you would lift the trapdoor and then grab onto that ladder and start climbing down. It looks to lead down to a set of stairs that turns to the south and then to the west and culminates in a smallish room. In that room down below, you can see that the entire ground looks to be littered with bones and feathers, and you see a lot of what you would assume to be animal waste.
Some kind of den or something down here.
Did the smell get much stronger when you opened the door? Or I can't tell from back here.
So it's not an actual door, it's just a hole where a door used to be. But yes, the closer they got to the trapdoor, the odor did intensify.
Be honest with you, Hugo, that's probably where it laid down. Took a rest. There's another trapdoor Grask found up in that other room. Maybe let's try that one, see if that leads anywhere. But we do know that this looks like another way in. But remember that lady, she told us about that extra way, that underground way, with the furry and feathery creatures. That may be it right there.
Do any of the feathers we can see resemble anything we saw on the harpy?
Give me a blind check at advantage, as you've recently seen that harpy, and see if you can draw a connection. Yes, indeed, they do.
No wonder she was so pissed. Looks like this is her pad, man.
And if I remember correctly, the concentration icon on Harmony right now is for guidance, which I'm sure would have expended by now, so I'm going to go ahead and take that off.
Should we keep exploring?
Yeah, I mean, we might as well flip open that other hatch and see what's down there. Can't hurt, right?
Yep. Let's see it. Wait. Should we make sure it's not trapped?
Adam, Grask is a big dude. When he looks here to the hole, he wants to know like how thick do the floors look? Like how big is the floor he's standing on now?
Meaning, is he concerned at all that it would not support his weight?
Yeah.
Give me a blind check as he looks there and tries to do a quick structural analysis of the floor. He sees nothing that gives him any signs of concern or cause of concern that this floor would not support him.
Okay.
Adam, can I approach this little trapdoor here carefully and just run my fingers around it, see if I can see any tripwires or anything that would, show that it would be trapped, at least on our side?
Yeah, blind check there, please, as you investigate this area, looking for any signs of traps. No, you see nothing that looks dangerous, no type of trap there that you can tell.
Don't look trapped. I'm gonna sheath my sword at him and then wait for everybody to get in, and then I'm gonna pull it open so we can see what's in there.
It does feel pretty heavy. What? Give me a public athletics. This one can be public. The public athletics check, please, as you attempt to open this.
Yeah, I'm not too strong. I'm quite weak.
As you grab onto the handle here and you're trying to lift this thing up, it is giving you quite a bit of effort. You have to really put a lot of muscle into it, brace with your body, and eventually you do manage to pull it open. But you are perhaps somewhat surprised to see that as soon as you look down, instead of seeing an opening, you just see a complete collapsed passage, with the entire passage being filled up with rubble, dirt, and other debris all the way to just below the trapdoor. This entrance seems to be completely inaccessible.
So I'll step away and relay that to everybody. Well, looks like we either dig through some rubble or we dive down into the smelly den.
Oh, it's totally jammed, man.
Well, I think we already had that one on the run. So, going down into the den, if it's only one, that might be easy.
I'd much prefer that than manual labor, if I must say.
I'd rather move the rocks than dig around in harpy shit.
Harmony, what you thinking?
No, either way works for me. I just go with the flow.
Sounds like 2 votes for Den, 1 vote for Rocks, and 1 abstention.
Yeah, I mean, I can't. I'm not strong. I don't want to move all this stuff.
My more main concern is being exposed for that long. I mean, you said hours worth of work to clear that area, so that means we'd be out in the open for hours. Let's go in the hole. I'll go first if it makes you scared.
Still not feeling 100%, so Maybe I won't be in the front.
Well, before we go in, did you guys want to take a second to catch your breath, mend your wounds, and things like that?
Then we'll be exposed for hours anyway, huh?
I mean, it won't take hours. Shouldn't take you hours. I mean, y'all ain't that hurt.
I can go on still.
Alrighty. And then with that, Adam, I'm just gonna hop into the hole.
As in jump down, or you want to get to the ladder and climb normally?
How far down does it look?
It's probably a drop of maybe 10 to 15 feet.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna take the ladder because I'm only 3 feet tall, so that would hurt.
All right, fair enough. Is it safe to assume everybody's following him down below once he gets down below and make sure that, there's nothing obviously dangerous right there?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, I'm going to move everybody. Please don't move your tokens from him. Just to make this a little bit easier. I'm going to stack you guys all together. And one after another, you guys climb down. As you get down, there's no immediate signs of danger here. You've seen this terrible odor, or smelled this terrible odor, I should say, saw the remnants of these animals, that sort of thing. But there's nothing that's sort of, sticking out at you or any kind of creatures observable, nothing like that. All
Is
right,
it
team.
dark?
So as you descend, there is some light coming in from above the hole, but yes, it would be dark in the corners here where the sunlight cannot catch. But quick description for you guys. This ground level chamber reeks of animal waste, sweat, and rotten meat. Bones and feathers lie strewn across the floor. Along the north side of the chamber, a wide stone staircase descends into the earth. The wall above the stairs is carved into a full archway decorated with interwoven knots, axes, and fierce-looking owl bears, all in characteristic dwarven style. A stout door stands closed in the west wall. It was clearly made for defense as it is fortified with steel bands and large nail heads. I'm going to lock the tokens here just for a moment so I can give you guys the visual display of what you're seeing here. So this is what's on the north wall, and again, as a reminder, this is on your right. If you're visually looking at the maps to your right, that is north. So that entrance you see there going into the ground, that is what you see when you look at it.
Pretty fancy.
Looks like this is the place.
Looks like that indeed. Is that light coming out of it too, Adam? The orange coming from the doorway?
Yes.
Killer.
Can I scan for any sign of the harpy down here?
Based on your passive perception, you don't see anything. Elliot, where you just stepped, that would be sort of jumping off to the other side and falling down, so I presume you don't want to do that. You want to actually take the stairs down.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I see the direction of the stairs now. I would like to light a torch, just because I can't see. I don't know who has dark vision in the group, but I don't.
All right, so you put your weapon away, and you're going to have shield and torch?
Yeah, I didn't draw my sword back out, so I'll just light up a torch and have shield and torch.
So looking down, I'm assuming from these stairs we can see like this view, right? From
Correct.
the light above. The bones that we do see, are they like all separated, like an arm here, a leg here? It doesn't look like any of these make a complete body. If it had skin on it.
No.
Good. Elliot, go and kick all the weapons to the side.
Sure. Why not, Grask? Can I like raise my torch up in the air and kind of do like a scan before I step down? Do I see any kind of seeing this many bones and weapons strewn all over the place, I don't want to immediately fall victim to a trap. Does anything give me away about the floor before I step off the stairs?
No, based on your passive perception, as you look here, nothing jumps out to you as being particularly of danger.
I don't mind taking a second to kind of crouch down and get closer to it and spend a minute really inspecting to make sure I don't see anything before we move forward.
Sure, yeah, so you'll pause here and go ahead and throw a blind check, please. So you're scanning around just looking for traps, floor plates, something along those lines, right?
Yeah, anything that would kind of signal that the bones were part of people who died here.
No, no, you get nothing along, no kind of indications along that. So it looks to me that somehow this visual of the lighting got messed up, guys. So I'm going to try to fix this real quick. And that's probably going to give you more than what you need to see, but that's what you should be seeing right now. Don't worry about pausing. Continue. I'll just fix it as we go.
So I'm gonna go around and look at the weapons at them. Do they look old and decrepit, or does anything look usable?
So if by weapons you refer to the description of what it looked like, the descent down, the carved thing, none of those are actual weapons. If you're looking at the map there and just seeing what is on screen, I think that's essentially just for artistic effect at that point. So
Gotcha.
you're not seeing. I guess the description does say axes. We'll assume you do see a couple of axes.
Yeah, do they look usable in any way, or like old, rusty, chipped?
I would say old. I mean, they're usable. You're not sure if they would be fully effective.
Okay, fair enough. Well, that is everybody.
Well, let's see if these fine fellows and ladies had anything of worth on them. I don't think a harpy or whatever that creature was probably spends any coin, so let's check real quick. Hugo will start seeing if they have any valuables in the remains.
Okay, blind check as you search around looking for any valuables among the remains. No, a lot of debris, feathers, bones, nothing that looks to be of particular value.
These are all peasants, apparently.
So, we're gonna go on in, or are we gonna check this door over here?
Grask will kind of lean over the side and point out some axes. Toss those aside.
I'll kick him over to the corner of the room for him.
Can I actually take a couple minutes? Now that I think about it, that's probably a good idea, man.
Now that we're in the hole?
Yeah, maybe just plug your noses. I'd like to take 10 minutes to cast Detect Magic.
Okay, yeah, you can certainly do that if you want to spend the 10 minutes. Anybody else, any objections to spending 10 minutes here as Harmony starts the ritual to cast this?
No. I'll keep my eye on the staircase there.
Hugo will take out the scraps of cloth that he had planned for his ears and instead stick them in his nose.
Harmony's gonna take out her herbalism kit and start mixing things together, grinding them up, and holding her necklace with a symbol of her god on it.
All right, after that 10 minutes or so elapses, You scan about this room looking for anything that would radiate a magical aura, Harmony, but you do not see anything.
I say let's check the door first. What does everybody else think?
Wait, what? Why did we wait 10 minutes?
She was doing a spell.
I'm trying to see if I get any negative vibes around here, man. Let's get going so I can assess before the the effects like wear off, man.
Grass just assumes that must be some magic thing he doesn't know. This way down here, I'm assuming it continues further down?
It does, yes.
Further down, or the door.
Well, I vote further down, because that big door is going to make a lot of noise.
And he'll start moving down.
Okay, rest of the team, are you going to descend behind Grask?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, so now that you're getting into more of a confined space, I'm going to ask a marching order question here. As you're descending these stairs and transitioning between areas that aren't necessarily perfectly depicted on the map, what is your typical distance apart? What is your marching order? Obviously, right now you see that this is just a pretty narrow opening tunnel. Are you guys standing one after another? 1, 2, 3, 4, like straight in a line like that as you descend? Are you trying to put a certain amount of space between each other? Give me an idea of what you're doing.
We send Corin first.
I think I will try to stay in the middle because I've got the torch, so don't want to give too much of a headlight and things like that. But whoever's in front of me, I'll try to stay a little bit off to their shoulder so I'm not directly behind them, and maybe, a good 5 or so feet behind them.
So what I'll ask is this. So Grask is descending. Put yourself relative to the way that you're marching down the stairs right now on map. Put yourselves where you'd like to be relative to that. All right, so you guys look like you're all good there. I'm not seeing any additional movement. And then for Corin, he usually has been, he's kind of more of a ranged character, so he's been hanging in the back. So I'm going to put him there, assuming nobody complains. Okay, fair enough. So this is the order that you'll descend. I will go ahead and lock the tokens here momentarily. All right, so as you descend this area here, Grask, you notice that the stairs sort of go down a bit, and then after maybe 25 feet or so of descending, it turns to the west and starts moving down. You notice that at the same time that it does, that it actually opens up into a 10-foot wide opening rather than a 5-foot wide tunnel as you continue descending down. As you get near the base, where you can start to see the stairs themselves there, getting a bit more standard, you might say, as right now you're kind of going through more covered in dust and dirt and it's hard to see them. You can start to see they're a little bit more revealed down below, but you also notice that there is a large collection, and it sort of started off as a scattering a little bit here and there, but now it's really collected. Piles of bones, piles of debris, piles of animal parts, almost everything you can imagine that is just sort of arrayed here, and it's piled up in quite a large amount.
More than a harpy could eat. Be careful.
Is it your intention to try to continue down through this?
Yeah, but quietly, right? Everybody? Try not to kick any bones or anything, or what? We trying to turn around and come back, or what?
Among the bones, do we see like weapons beside them, or it's just bodies?
Not really even bodies. Think of it as body parts. So a femur here, a skull there, a finger bone there. Yeah, you don't see anything that looks like a whole body.
Are they like gnawed on? Like, can we see chew marks and bite marks on the bones?
From your distance, Elliot, I would say it's, looking at maybe a couple before it gets into this huge pile. No, you don't really notice anything on a quick glance. If you want to spend time, obviously, like picking up a bone and investigating that sort of thing, you could. But yeah, so Grask, you're leading the charge here. So I imagine right now, based on the order we've got on screen, you're 10 feet in front of Elliot as you're looking at this big pile of bones.
I think he'll advance. If he doesn't hear anything or see anything that would indicate that the creator of this bone pile is nearby, he'd keep advancing. At least till they can get close enough to the pile to inspect it.
Okay, so again, this is a little bit theater of the mind at this point. But to clarify, you're basically going to start trudging through the bones to try to get down below.
Oh, it's like knee-high bones. Or foot-high bones?
Yes, I would say it's probably a good foot or more. Again, you can't really see the bottom with how much is piled up here.
Okay, this is way too many bones. Grass is going to turn to the group. This way seems like death.
Do you see another way?
Do you think yourself stronger than everybody here?
What about the door upstairs? The door upstairs.
I mean, we could turn around and go upstairs. And no, I don't think I'm stronger than anybody. In fact, I'm probably the least strong one.
Not us. And he points to the pile of bones. Them. Stronger than every person there.
Probably not.
I say we turn around.
Yeah, but we do have a cleric, right? I mean, aren't they good against undead things?
Grask
Not that
like
good,
perks
man.
up at that. Are you?
Not in particular, man.
And who knows if we're fighting something undead? Something made those bones. Something ate that meat.
We can go check the door.
Let's give it a try. Can I step in the order in front of Elliot and like try to sense my detect magic?
Yeah, so you're staying where you are here. As you're descending, you get between Elliot and Grask now, and you look down past Grass, see this large collection of bones. You do not detect any magic out to the range that detect magic works, I believe 60 feet. Oh, 30 feet. So you don't detect anything out to 30 feet.
We don't know what made those bones. Could be anything,
Yeah,
but
but
it's
we also
definitely a killing machine.
we don't know where that door goes either. I mean, there could just as easily be a killing machine on the other side of that door.
Well, at least it's not piles and piles of bones so far. Right now, it's unknown.
We can make that choice when we get there.
I'm really into the door right about now.
Well, let's go back.
We could come back and play in the bone pile if it turns out it's better.
Well, I mean, you guys saw the entrance. I mean, it's pretty obvious that this is the direction to the Scarlet Citadel. I mean, it's got a carved mantelpiece and everything.
But maybe this is the entrance that the people who don't come back take.
She said no one came back from the other entrance either. Remember?
We haven't even tried the door, man.
I'm not saying no, I'm just saying that, I mean, the door is definitely not the route that we need to take to get into the Citadel. We're currently in there, but we can go check it out.
The door.
Oh.
Alright, so it sounds like the group would like to turn back around, head back to this higher level, climb out of here, out of the trapdoor, and back up to the top level of the courtyard of the Scarlet Citadel.
Yep. With no shame.
No, I got a little shame about it, but it's okay.
Alright, fair enough. So once again, I'm going to just collect all of you guys real quick.
Where's this door we were talking about?
Isn't this
Yeah.
the door?
Oh, that's the door you want to check out. Okay, sure. Alright, so you guys just essentially climb the stairs and find yourself back here.
No, I meant the door you were thinking of, Adam. Where was that again?
You're talking about the trap door.
I was thinking you guys were talking about the trapdoor covered with all the rubble.
Oh, yeah, that's what I was thinking. No, I was thinking that. I lied. I
Well,
lied to
when-
get information from you.
I was
felt
going to say, that's an old trick, Bolt. I know that one.
When we pass by this one, we say, should we try this one?
Maybe it'll be something that'll help us in case there's a wild monster in those bows.
Well, then open it.
Hugo goes up and checks if it's trapped.
Okay, Hugo, go ahead and throw me a blind check at disadvantage to see if you can tell if this is trapped.
Now, do I have to click anything for disadvantage, or it just goes into it automatically?
It goes in automatically.
Okay.
I'm just saying that every now and again to remind you. Okay, so you spend a bit of time here searching around, Hugo, perhaps a minute or two, looking along the walls, looking where the door meets the floor, looking door meets the ceiling, all of those types of things for any kind of traps. You don't find any kind of traps, but you do realize that this door is somewhat stuck. It kind of has a little wiggle to it, but it does not look like it will open easy.
Who's strong? You look pretty strong, Grask. You want to see if you can tug this door off the hinges?
He steps up. And he tugs the door off its hinges.
Go ahead and throw a public athletics check as you attempt to do so. That'll work too.
Ignore that.
Yeah, as you grab onto it, Grask, and try to pull it off of its hinges, no, it does not budge. This thing is very stuck.
Looks like we have to move the stones.
Why not just cut through the bones?
What do you think could make that many bones?
What do you think could bring down that much rubble?
Time.
Well, here's the thing. We searched the other trapdoor, and it was collapsed. So what happens if we spend that time looking into that trapdoor, and then it's collapsed?
Then we leave. This whole place was a bust.
No, I'm sorry, but my brother's in here somewhere. I've got to go find him.
I still vote if we all put in our efforts and dig out that other entrance, we know that just some random massive animal couldn't accidentally have passed through it. So it seems like a safer entrance.
I mean, I get that, but if you have a bunch of rubble that falls down, what happens to what's underneath it?
The door seems sturdy. You want to check it out one more time?
I mean, we can. Definitely, if y'all are more comfortable going that way, then we can go dig some rocks.
Okay, it sounds like the vote is for rock digging, so hold up a moment as I move you guys all together again. And I'm sort of just going to fast travel you guys a little bit, as I presume that after you climb up this, you're going to make your way over to that door that is currently covered by the rubble.
Oh, yes.
Alright guys, so you climb out of there, move down the stairs, find yourself back in this room, and yes, it is once again covered by rubble. And again, based on description, once Armony has pointed this out to you guys, you can see that there is this iron ring. Looks like a ring on a trapdoor. You don't even make out the trapdoor at this point because it's completely covered by the rubble. It's as though the iron ring is just sticking through some of the rubble, or you can see that part of it. And again, there's quite a bit of rubble on top here. So if you're wanting to try to clear this rubble, let's figure out who all is participating in that. If you're going to participate in clearing rubble, just go ahead and type in Roll20 chat, helping, or something like that, so I know that you're working on rubble.
I'm gonna keep watch, because if we're all working, something's just gonna sneak up on us. So I'm gonna keep watch.
I'll help. I'll help with the rubble.
Okay, so that's 3, and would you guys like Corin to help as well?
Yeah.
I can't see his sheet. Does he have an 8? If he has an 8 for strength, I'll let him pass, and otherwise he has to help.
He does not. He's a little sturdier than that.
He's helping.
Okay, so 4 of you working together then as Elliot keeps watch. So Elliot, go ahead and throw me a blind check as you keep watch, as the rest of the team starts putting in some back work and starting to lift this stuff up. Okay, so as you're working through this, pulling off pieces, and trying to make sure you're not causing a potential danger here, right, where you would pull some off and then the rest would just start, cascading or sliding down and striking into all of you. You guys spend 30 minutes clearing some of this rubble, then another 30 minutes, so it's been an hour now as you guys continue clearing this rubble. Elliot, as you're only on watch and not doing hard work here, you technically would qualify for a short rest if you wish. Rest of the team, unfortunately, doing this work, you will not. During this time, after about an hour has passed, you're definitely making progress, but you can tell that it's going to take a bit more time. You got to the point where you can kind of open the trapdoor maybe a half of an inch, not enough really to see much at all. You can't even really see down there, but you can see that you're making some progress.
You know, the difference between men and me, one of the ones I find at least, is the bravery. Bravery is for fools and dead men. Why fight fights you can't win if you don't have to?
For honor. Grask.
What honor is there to be gained in joining that pile?
For money.
What money to be gained in that pile?
Not necessarily gained in that pile, but just past it.
If all those people came here, they probably had the same thing on their mind, and they didn't make it in.
Yeah, but it also smells like bear shit down there, so it could have easily just been where the bears take their food once they kill it to eat.
From where
You
we
guys-
stand, how do you think the bear got down there?
Do you guys ever think about how your elbows are knees below your arms?
Grask
Nice.
will stop moving. He'll put his rock down and just touch his knees and then his elbows.
Pretty far out, man.
They're different.
That bear that attacked us, it didn't know it would win. It just wanted food.
Fool, then.
All
You
right,
never
you guys.
know what'll happen. Grask.
As you guys are having these conversations, I presume you're continuing to work, pulling this rubble off as best you can. About another half hour elapses as you guys are doing this work. Elliot, you're still focused, vision and hearing, trying to see if anything's sneaking up around you. I imagine maybe occasionally pacing around sort of thing to get a good look in all different directions. So far, it's been fairly quiet besides the sound of your teammates pulling all this rubble off. After a total of about an hour and a half with 4 of you all working together, you've got it now where you can open the trapdoor enough that somebody who's not really, really large could wiggle through on their belly.
Can I peek through without actually proceeding through? I say, Grask, hold it up for a sec.
You can, yeah. So as you pull this up a bit and kind of peek through that direction, you see that there is not rubble down below like there was in the other area. This does look like it will be traversable or accessible if you can make your way through here. And you see a flight of stairs at the bottom of this almost immediately.
We got stairs, man.
Any bones?
You do not see bones.
Totally bone free, man.
All right. Stand up and I'll tie rope around my waist and say, all right, well, move. Y'all ain't big enough to get in there.
Well, should we make it big enough so Grass can come too?
I don't think you'd be able to fit either, or Corin. Let's just make sure there ain't nothing just waiting for us before we continue digging. I can pop in and check.
We're not gonna be able to get to you, man.
What if it grabs you?
Then go to the bones. And remember, I told you to do so.
I won't go to the bones.
Well, y'all can keep digging if you want. It don't matter to me.
We're enjoying it.
I'll sit back down and then I'll pull my crossbow back out.
Okay, so right now, you've got, like I said, you've got this room to wiggle through. So based on the description, I would say Elliot, being a halfling, obviously can fit in there. Armony being half-elf, and Hugo, remind me, human Hugo or half-elf?
Human.
Okay, and unless you're incredibly large, Grask, I seem to recall your character is very large. I would say everybody besides Grask right now feels like they could wiggle through. Again, it's not comfortable, but you can wiggle through to get down below. It sounds like you guys want to spend some additional time to try to allow for enough clearance so that Grass can do the same thing.
I vote for making it so Grass can join us, but it's up to you guys.
Well, yeah, we can't leave Grask up here, so...
Yeah, might as well. Could just be a dead end, though, but who knows?
Okay, so you guys continue clearing rubble here, and I will ask for a Constitution saving throw from Armony, Grask, Hugo, and Corin.
Public or private?
You can make these publicly.
Wow, that was delayed.
All right. As you
delayed.
guys work for about another hour or so, yeah, it looks like we're getting a little bit of lag. I'll just take that first one, Hugo. As you guys work for about another hour or so here, this intensive labor is starting to really get to you, Grask. Perhaps it's the warmth or just this, constant strain. Maybe you're having to do more of the work, realizing you're one of the stronger folks here. Whatever it is, you do take a level of exhaustion through this effort. Rest of the team, you managed to get through this without suffering any exhaustion, and you've now cleared it enough that Grask even can wiggle through on his belly. you realize that even though you've got this open this wide, actually full clearing this for it to be used normally would still take several more hours. But again, you've got it to the point where you can wedge it up enough that all of you could wiggle through.
Well, that just means we'll have to go out through the bones.
You'll get your chance to walk through a mountain of bones.
Yeah, by that time, we'll have a flaming sword of death that will cleave through whatever made
What
the
do you
bones.
think is in here, Hugo?
Untold riches, I was told.
Heard that's what it
If they
mentions.
were, if they are untold, how did somebody tell you about them?
Well, they're just general wealth.
Thanks for doing all the heavy lifting, Grask.
Go on then.
Is there any risk? Does it look like after we prop this up, go in and close it, there's not going to be more boulders like rolling on top of it to keep us sealed in there?
So what I will say is you're not opening it and then closing it. You're just opening it enough that you can actually wiggle through, so you can't even full open it. So there will be no need to close it, because once you slip through, it's going to close automatically.
But there's no risk at lowering it that more boulders like roll down and then we're stuck in here?
I would say just by the fact of lowering it, you don't think so, no. Now, could strong winds or an earthquake or something like that, or people obviously pile them on? Sure.
If the wind could move these rocks, then I want my exhaustion gone.
I mean, a strong wind.
Oh, like hurricane, okay.
Can we wedge a rock in it so there's at least like a gap?
You could do that, yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna do that.
That might make it more noticeable, though.
It will definitely make it more noticeable, and anybody behind us will see it.
I'm more worried about what's inside here.
I get that, but if we don't have a way out that's safe, then what's the point?
I agree.
I've already wedged the rock.
All right. If they come at us from behind, those owl bears are harpies. Watch out.
Enough talking about it. Let's get in there.
All right, we get in.
All right, each of you pushes through, finding your way inside as you wiggle through this small gap between all of the rubble and the door, eventually finding yourself all sort of clumped together in this small area. So much like before, what I'm going to do here is put you guys all in the same space, but you can move once you get on the other side. Bear with me one moment as I move you guys to the appropriate location. Alrighty, so as each of you guys wiggles through, you find yourself inside.
I'm assuming it's dark, Adam?
It is dark unless you have a torch, in which case you should be able to see to the extent of your torch.
I'll light the torch again. I got a shield, and then I'll light a new torch, Adam.
Yes, you currently have a torch on your token.
I also have this hooded lantern if we ever need to keep it secret.
So as you descend here, guys, and you notice this set of stairs, you can see stairs continuing to descend as it makes its way down here. Clearly you can notice what is a passageway that's going to lead off to your west. Again, a quick reminder that north on this map is to your right, same as it was above. So this way is actually south. So to your south, the stairs continue to descend. You can all make out the sign of light over here, a flickering light as though from a torch. But the rest of the area is dark unless you are bringing your own torch in which case, again, you'll see that on screen.
I can see the corner of something right here. Can I make that out at all?
As you try to get a good look there, go ahead and throw me a blind check to see what you can make out. Not really. You maybe see like a the bottom part of maybe a skirt or a cloak or a robe. Can't really tell what it is exactly.
Okay, can I see like feet attached to that rope? Like, can I tell if it's a creature?
You presume it's some type of bipedal being, but hard to say for sure.
We're not alone.
Well, I'm gonna try to move quietly myself.
Same.
Okay, if you're attempting to move quietly, go ahead and post blind checks for me, and I will take stealth rolls.
Oh, Adam, I see slivers of light. If I can see something in my slivers of light, does that mean that my character could probably see it?
You might be able to see part of something, yeah. You might not be able to tell what it is, though.
Yeah, I'm gonna point my finger up to my lips and then point down the hallway here to the west. What do you want to do?
Let's keep the drop on him.
I want to move here and say, all right then.
I vote for south. Anybody else? Turn or straight?
Yeah, the skirt. Let's go for the skirt.
The skirt, the creature.
All right, I'm gonna try to move quietly, Adam.
Yes, I have your check there. Alright, as you enter more of the room here, you see what appears to be an old man holding onto a torch and looking to the west.
Does it look like he's noticed me?
It does not. Rest of the team as you're approaching, though, Grask, are you trying to be silent here?
Yeah, I will if the others are.
Okay, blind check, please. Okay, so Elliot, you get to there, moving very quietly, like hand on the wall as you're trying to get closer. Yeah, he doesn't look like he's noticed you at all. You can see him kind of holding a torch with his right hand, and with his left hand he's sort of fondling this large gray beard. You hear a lot of hmms,
I'm gonna step back to here quietly and whisper to Armony and say, it's an old man. Looks like he's studying the wall or something.
What are you doing down here?
I don't know, but he hasn't seen me. Should have put a knife to his throat.
You know the rules. If he's dead, we can have any of his things.
I'm gonna hand Armony my torch. I'll say, well, will you hold this for me? I'm not gonna kill him, but don't want to be unprepared.
Of course. I take it.
I'm just gonna step back into the open and I'm gonna draw my scimitar as I step and kind of try to make myself known at this point, Adam.
And how do you do that precisely?
I'm gonna draw my scimitar and then kind of clear my throat.
Okay, as you clear your throat, I'm going to put us into initiative order.
Oh, I need to roll again, right?
Yes, please. And then we take... Right, so we take whatever yours is, because yours is already set to roll. No, that didn't work that time, oddly enough, so we would want to take the lower of those two.
I think it's because I pressed the button as opposed to my sheet.
Yeah, do you want to throw it once from your sheet and we'll just take whatever is accurate there? Okay, so 8 is correct because yours rolls and automatically gives you the disadvantage, so we'll take that number. That has automatically been updated in the order here. Okay, so Elliot, as you step in here and you do this throat clearing, we get more intense music.
So it's not like Brandol chilling in this chamber?
Potentially, hard to say, you know?
I thought it was going to be friendly.
What you will notice is as you get here and clear your throat suddenly is from your east, stepping through this gap in the wall, you notice a very striking figure. As you get a decent look at him here, you notice his flesh is sort of all greenish and welted. You notice many scars, many lacerations, bruises that look like they've been dealt and healed up many, many times again. As he pushes through this little narrow gap here, you can see he is currently wielding a maul in his hands. As he steps up, you see he just sort of turns and lowers this helmet appearance upon you. And Elliot, I will need you to give me a wisdom saving throw, please.
So they're not friendly, huh?
He does not look to be, no. All right, and as he looks at you, you can feel like sort of as though your mind is reeling from this terrible sight before you, but you manage to shake through the worst of it. Then we move to the old man who, now hearing this, turns and with a torch in his hand, you see he looks at you and once again you hear, And you see he steps back and sort of leans up against the statue here as he looks down, and you hear him sort of under his breath say, "That might be interesting." Harmony.
Okay. I'm going to take a couple steps up because I'm wondering what's going on. I am going to touch Elliot and cast guidance on him.
Okay, use your action to touch Elliot and grant him guidance.
And I say, "You got this, bro," and I back up.
Okay, Elliot's turn. At the start of your turn, Elliot, as you are in full sight of this individual, give me a wisdom saving throw, please.
Oof, can I use my inspiration?
You can, yes. Yeah, so again, you could see this very fearsome looking foe before you. Hard to tell whether this is a human, a demon, an undead. I mean, you don't even know. It is obviously just some type of fearsome opponent, however, but you can take your turn as normal.
Okay, I'm gonna look at the old man and say, "Hey, call off your dog. I could have attacked you, but I didn't. What's the meaning of this?"
You hear sort of a guffaw from the old man.
All right. Well then, I am going to not like in. I'm gonna. Gosh, Adam, you threw us a curveball here. I'm gonna move back, and I'm gonna move past Harmony and then past Grask and say, "That guy looks big and scary, and every time he looks at me, I feel this chill in my bones. We should get the heck up out of here." I'm going to try to move to here. That would be full 30.
And as you say that, you look back, remembering this wiggle in order to get out the same way that you came in. Certainly not going to be something that's done quickly.
No, that's for sure.
Let's go down the other corridor.
No,
I'm thinking that as well. So I'm going to
there's more people down there.
yeah, I know. I'm gonna actually stay right here in this little spot and do a dodge action at him.
Okay.
But I am gonna use my interact with object to pull my sword from its sheath.
Okay. All right, Grask.
Okay. Seeing that Elliot wants to not do this fight, he's going to. Oh boy, here. I think he's going to step here to let Armony have a chance to move back. Do I have to make a check once I move here because I can see that guy?
You do not.
It's cool. I'm going to prepare an action to attack an enemy that walks into this, or like within range of me.
Okay.
And he'll say, Get back, Harmony. We don't need to fight. Just let us leave.
Hugo.
He goes, sees Elliot running. He's like, what's up there?
Something that's quite spooky. I don't think we can take it. I think we should try to escape.
I think we can do it.
Hugo.
So, Hugo will go to here. I will also prepare an action to attack something hostile to me that comes within melee. And I guess as a bonus action, I'm going to use Second Wind.
Okay. That should be built into your sheet as a clickable attack that you should be able to just click, and it will tell you how much you got back. There you go. Okay, so that's your bonus action. Ready action to attack anything that comes within melee. Anything else in your turn, Hugo?
Nope, that's it.
All right, hearing what you're saying, you notice Corin is looking to try to wiggle back out. So he attempts this effort, trying to wedge his body. It's obviously quite difficult here, being that this is not an easily accessible thing, but he will try.
Can I say no down the corridor instead? Can I shout that to him?
Sure. So as he looks up to the thing, and I presume when you say that, you mean going to your west?
Yep. I'm going to say be safe, but...
He will come here and say, okay, you lead the way, as he seems as though he also takes a defensive action. Grask, you notice this fierce opponent continues to push through. As he does and steps to here, you hear a sound actually seem to come from the room that he just left, and it sounds ah! As he steps up next to you. Go ahead and make your attack of opportunity as you're ready in action.
Oh boy.
You swing wildly. Go ahead and roll a fumble, please. Okay, so you lose your combat footing, slipping a bit here, and your enemies have advantage on their attack rolls against you until the end of your next turn. So, being that it is his turn, he is going to attack you at advantage. So he takes this massive maul in hand, gripping it very solidly, and just swings it right down at you. Defensive roll at disadvantage, please. The maul slams into you hard here, Grask, dealing 9 points of bludgeoning damage.
I have Corin's thing on me to reduce damage. I don't remember how it works. Do I roll a d4?
Nope, you just take 4 off and lose that shield.
Okay.
Was it a reaction? I don't remember. Let me check Corin sheet.
Oh, maybe it was. Good.
Yeah, but
Good
I
call.
believe it is. Yeah.
Right. Can you guys see my health updated? Is it just me that it's not updating for?
Yeah, I saw it update on my side.
Okay, I'm
It's
gonna
updated.
refresh.
It is a reaction, yes. Yep. So, okay, after he smashes into you solidly here, Grask, you notice that he seems to get, in a weird way, almost like excited as he sees the damage done to your body, and this seems to thrill him as you see this, like, glee across his body. He shivers almost as he is going into a great deal of excitement. All right. On the old man's turn, you notice he steps down to here, looks down the hallway, and Grass, you can hear him mumble, "New adventurers, it looks like. Quite a few of them. They picked this way to come in. How interesting." And then he steps back. Harmony, your turn.
To back up.
Oh, I'm sorry. Actually, Harmony, at the start of your turn, as you can see this opponent, I will need you to make a wisdom saving throw, please.
Public or
Public's fine, yep. All right, yes, you again see this very fearsome foe before you, but you manage to fight through this fear that starts to instill in your body and can act normally. As you start heading that way, Harmony, from your west, you hear a sound sort of echoes out, and it sounds like...
it's can you do that again?
Probably not. I only got one of those in the barrel at any time.
Okay. Well, I guess I'm going to stop there and hold an action of attacking anything that seems unfriendly.
Okay, and so by attacking, I assume, is it a melee attack, or is this a spell, or which one?
I'm holding Sacred Flame.
All right, so you pre-cast Sacred Flame, so the vocal components of Sacred Flame do echo throughout these narrow tunnels as you prepare a Sacred Flame. Okay, Elliot, start of your turn. What would you like to do?
I am going to... I know that Miss Willowbeam stopped short, so I'm going to throw a pattern and say, oh crap, 5, 10, 15, hearing the same noise. So
Yes.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. I'm going to move to here, and I'm going to turn back towards the hallway where Harmony is, and I'm going to prepare an action to attack anything that comes within melee range that's hostile.
Okay. All right, Grask, at the start of your turn, wisdom saving throw, please. You face tough opponents in the swamps here, Grask, but nothing like this opponent have you seen before, and fear fills you entirely as you are facing against him. You are affected by the frightened condition.
Okay. Grask doesn't want to be near this guy anymore. So I am going to disengage.
Okay.
I am in the dark here. I cannot see because the torch is left.
Okay.
So, but I know where they went. I know they went like up that hallway. So Grass is gonna run down the hallway with his hand on the left wall as he runs, and when he can no longer feel it, he's gonna take that corner and just move as far as he can go.
All right. So I'm gonna ask a couple questions here. So first, you said disengage, right?
Yep.
And then second, you said you're going to put your hand on the wall and then run down the hallway?
Yeah, just so I can feel where that entrance is.
All right, so as you run down the hallway, you get to here, and then see. So Hugo, also being human, also not having any sight, The two of you suddenly collide, smashing into each other, and I would like both of you to make dexterity saving throws, as neither of you can see, and you just slammed right into one another. All right, so yes, Grass, you push through here, knocking Hugo straight to the ground, plowing through him. That's the word I'm looking for. Plowing through him as you make your way to the other side. So let's see, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. As you get to here, exhausting all of your movement, you can feel the edge of the wall starting to turn to your north.
Okay, Harmony has the torch, by the way, not me, because I remember I handed it to her before I walked in the door.
Yeah, I
So
was just gonna say that.
Okay,
you
so
would be able to
hang
see the
on-
torch
hang on one
like
sec.
through. Okay, sorry.
Let me update real quick. So yeah, unfortunately it's not as easy as just saying, this. So let me turn the torch off of you and torch onto Harmony.
Okay, wait, and then if I move back, okay, I couldn't have seen Hugo. I would have still crashed into him.
Yes, unfortunately, yeah. I was just double checking.
Okay, and if I had more actions, I would have grabbed Hugo to try and drag him. But this is all Grass can do, as unhelpful as it was.
Okay, Hugo, you got plowed to the ground. You lie here at the bottom of these stairs. You can't see right around you, but you can see torchlight to your south and torchlight to your north, so you can see both light in both directions, just not light around you.
All right, so I'm gonna stand up.
Oh, and I'm sorry, because you can see him, I will need a wisdom saving throw as well, please, Hugo.
Is he one of the protection from?
He is not.
Oh, okay.
Okay, let me just double check that. Okay, so unfortunately, that will affect you as you feel yourself filled with fear, so you now have the frightened condition as well.
All right. Well, that fits perfectly, because I'm just gonna run. I can only get to there, right? Because I was prone.
So you stand from prone and then move 5, 10, 15?
Yep.
Yeah, that'll work.
And then I guess since we're all clumped up here and I'm not going to dash forward, I will just ready in action with my rapier to attack anything that gets within melee.
Okay. Okay, Corin's turn. Having heard what Elliot said, he's now going to make his way around. He will get to there, and then he will dash a bit farther to here, and he will look back and say, 2 directions. Alright, at the start of this guy's turn, you're going to see he starts marching menacingly down this hallway, ascending these stairs very dramatically so. Hugo, as he gets to here, just outside of your reach, you see he lowers that helmet looking at you intently, and I will need you to make a wisdom saving throw, please. Alright, once again, you feel this absolute terrible fear seem to fill your entire body, but you quickly shake it off. And we move to Harmony's turn.
I put my hands on Grask and heal him. For 6 hit points. And
so I think you have that special effect, right, that gives more healing?
That's right, Disciple of Faith.
So it looks like that wasn't checked, but I believe that should give you 3 on top of that. So go ahead and add 3 more to that, Grask.
Sweet, that's full.
Thanks, Adam.
Yeah, no problem.
And then I'm going to proceed to here. Is that maybe? Yeah. I should have handed somebody the torch, but hopefully you follow the light.
Okay, Elliot.
All right. Elliot is going to try to hide against this wall here, Adam, and I'll use my action to try to hide, and I want to prepare a attack for that creature who was staring at me all creepily.
Well, if you use your action to hide, you won't also be able to ready an action.
Oh, that's true. Well, I'm still going to try to hide. I mean, I'm small, so I'm still just going to duck down and prepare my action to attack the guy that comes around the corner. Since I'm small, people can move past me eat more easily than other creatures, so I'm going to see if I can just kind of stab something as it comes by.
Sure, yeah, you can certainly try that. So you have readied an attack against that specific opponent if it gets near you. Grask, start of your turn. Go ahead and throw me a wisdom saving throw, please.
I can't see him if that matters.
It does not. Okay, you managed to shake off the frightened condition. You are no longer affected by this.
Okay. I am going to try and keep moving with the rest of the group, hoping we can eventually shake this guy. So I'll move 10 here, 10 more here, and 5 here. I don't feel like I should dash, because if stuff goes down, I probably need to be close up. I'm going to use... I gotta check this thing out. I want to cast Stone Skin on myself, I think. Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Okay, so you call upon your bloodline powers in order to invoke the Stone Skin Self version. So you have the minor version, so which damage type would you like to select?
He hit me. What did that feel like?
He hit you with a maul, which was bludgeoning.
Then bludgeoning.
Alright, so you now have resistance to bludgeoning damage, and you're concentrating on this effect.
Can I get it to go on me if I just cast a spell? Yeah.
The little clock, yeah, I threw it on just in case it didn't.
Oh, perfect. Okay, that's me.
Okay, Hugo, start of your turn. Go ahead and throw a wisdom saving throw. Unfortunately, even though you cannot see this being, you feel its presence. You are still terrified of it.
I gotta get out of here. Oh, thank God. It's behind me. Alright, so, yeah, since I'm terrified, I think I might just... Are we, like, waiting here? Does it look like everyone's waiting for something at the end of here, end of the hallway?
I don't think anybody's waiting. I think we're just slowly retreating. So if you feel appropriate to continue retreating, by all means.
Yeah, so...
Corin wasn't sure which way to go.
Hugo's just gonna dash past everyone because he's terrified of the thing.
Okay.
So, I'm just gonna dash through. Get to there. There you go. It's coming right behind me. It's in the hallway.
Okay, on Corin's turn, he will also step up. And he will whisper back and say, "Looks like cells to our west and a door to our east. Where do we go?" And
What do you think, Hugo?
Cells, that's not a way out. The door. Try the door.
We could try and fight him.
Corin will step up and open this door. And step through. He will get to there and hold up. All right, back in our fatal funnel here. Elliot, coming around the corner is this large creature. You're ready to take an attack. Go ahead and make your attack.
Okie dokie. And hearing that it's a frightened condition, just in case I have to make that save, I've got my brave halfling feature, Adam.
Okay.
Just for the future.
You slash out towards him and do manage to connect. Go ahead and post damage. Alright, your blade cuts on his arm, wounding him a bit, and you see this just seems to give him a chuckle as though he is enjoying this. He then takes both hands on that maul, lifts it up, and swings it down solidly towards you. Defensive roll, please. The maul smashes down on the wall just below you and does not connect. Harmony.
I'm going to, since halflings are so small, if I stand behind him, does he give cover to the baddie?
I would say not in this context, no.
Okay, then I will shoot off my Sacred Flame.
Okay, yeah, and just as a reminder, Sacred Flame does not care about cover because it comes from above, so even if there was cover, no problems. But yes, the Sacred Flame does cascade down upon him, striking into him. Go ahead and post damage.
Can I ask real quick, if I had stood here and used Sacred Flame, like none of these people would give cover?
Correct, yes, because Sacred Flame has a special rider effect in there, and it will say the target gains no benefit from cover for this saving throw, because it literally comes from atop them and drops down upon them.
Fancy. Praise Laramie.
Yes, go ahead and post damage as those radiant flames strike into the individual and wound him for some radiant damage.
I'm then gonna back up. Wait, why did it do? Oh. So. That's it.
Okay, next up is Elliot.
All right. I cannot see anymore, so I am going to move to here, and I'm gonna say, as I pass Grask, I'm gonna say, "Hey, Grask, draw him around the corner," and I'm gonna put my back against the corner and wait for the same opportunity again to stab him if he comes around the corner, Adam.
Okay.
Okay.
Ask your turn.
Grask is going to move here, and then step here and say, "We fight him here. We can win."
I like staying out of sight.
And I will prepare an action to attack him if he steps. If I attacked him here, he would have, what, half cover?
At least, yeah.
If he, can I do like really conditional attack? Like if he moves here, I'd like to wait till he gets here. But if he looks like he's just gonna move here, I'd like to hit him there. So can I hit him when he stops moving? If he's within range. Okay.
Nope.
Well then I'll hit him when Hugo hits him.
So you will make an attack against him when Hugo attacks.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that works. Okay, Hugo, your turn.
Sorry, I said Hugo and meant Elliot.
Okay, fair enough, Elliot. So Hugo, at the beginning of your turn, go ahead and throw another wisdom saving throw as this fear is still filling you. And still does as well, even though you cannot see him, just this impending doom nearby you is filling you with fear.
Alright, that being the case, Hugo's just gonna run into this room with Corrin. And I guess I will stow my shield, drop my rapier, and draw my crossbow.
Unfortunately, you won't be able to do all of that in one turn. So if you want to remove your shield, doff a shield will be an action. And then you say drop your rapier, you could do that. So, and then you said you want to switch to your crossbow, is that right?
Yeah.
So, okay, so action to remove the shield, drop the rapier on the ground, interact with object to grab the crossbow. Yeah, that'll work.
Okay, cool. And that's gonna do it. I can't like ready an action because I used it, so
Right.
he just pulls it out.
Okay, fair enough. So crossbow in hand now as we move to Corin. And Corin looks back and says, "Which way do we go? Which way do we go? There's a door. It's slightly open."
Stand
No.
and fight,
Corin, stand and attack him. Sling some magic or something.
He
We'll have to slow him down or scare him off.
He steps by this desk, and it seems as though he prepares a spell. All right, top of the round, guys. We're a little bit past our break time, so let's go ahead and pause here, take our 15-minute break, and we will continue on the other side.
Hello from the other side.
We got this.
All right, see you guys in 15.
See you 15.
Alrighty, folks, welcome back to the second half of our session here in Scarlet Citadel. So we ended in a combat from our first half, so that is where we are going to pick up. So let me go ahead and change to a more up-tempo, battle-ish music. Alright, folks, so we are at the top of the turn order here. What you are going to hear is the sound of metal on metal as a very loud ringing out. It's almost as though someone dragging metal against metal at that sort of like clang, 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 repeating sound. And some of you will be able to make out some words as from down the hallway. I would say Grask, Elliot, and probably Armony can hear, "Scar, wake up! We have intruders to torment." Alright, and then there's some movement there, and then, based on the fact that no one can really see this guy, change his lair.
Where was that sound coming from for us?
That was coming from your south, so down the hallway where the enemy was.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, and then it will be Harmony's turn.
Oh shoot, are there gonna be more of them? And I'm going to... Oh. I say, he's gone. Should we keep running?
Yes! We gotta get away from that thing!
What happens? I didn't look into the torch stuff because I can see in the dark. If I just can I just set a torch down and it'll illuminate the area?
Yes.
Can I have dropped it back here?
And it would have to be somewhere that you passed by, but yes.
Yeah, like I'll drop it here.
Alright, let me go ahead and set up a torch here. Alright, so you said you wanted to have dropped it basically right in front of the door?
Yeah.
Okay, so you drop the torch on the ground and it does illuminate this area as you continue moving on.
And I guess I'm gonna stand next to this door and say, "Should I open the door?" And I'm gonna hold Sacred Flame in case I see an enemy.
Okay, if you see an enemy, you will cast Sacred Flame on them. Okay, Elliot.
I look over at Grask and say, maybe we can take it, but it seems to have backed off and called one of its lackeys. Let's get in here and shut this door. And I'm going to move around the corner here and I'm going to prepare an action to attack a hostile creature that comes in that general area in my attack range. And
Okay.
I'm going to wait on this side of the door.
Okay, Grask.
Okay, Garask is going to take Elliot's lead and move inside the room, and he'll close the door.
All right, so you interact with object to close the door.
Is it
Wait, can I do that? Yeah, I should be doing that, right?
No, because unfortunately the macro thing is still not working. So bear with me one moment.
Okay,
Is
I'll
it
post it for the viewers.
is it an outdoor or an indoor?
I imagine that would be pushing inwards for you guys.
Okay, then he is going to move over here and grab that. If they're like they move like open inwards towards the door, the room we're in, right?
No, the other way.
When you push the doors open this way.
Correct.
Okay. Never mind then. He will just ask, "What are we doing now?"
Okay, Hugo, your turn.
Is there a place that we could run from here? What about these over here?
Oh, and also, Hugo, at the start of your turn, go ahead and make another wisdom saving throw. Yeah, even though you don't know where this creature is, you are still terrified of it. Right now, obviously not seeing it, no immediate effect, but should it suddenly just open the door, you'd be immediately filled with that terrible fear once again.
Could be anywhere. Any of these doors. So Hugo, being terrified, just doesn't know what to do, so he's just going to ready an action to shoot that thing if it shows up anywhere.
Alright, so if you see that opponent, you will shoot them. Alright, so before Corin's turn... Alright, Elliot, Hugo, Grask, I would say you're all close enough to hear this. You hear... from the other side of the doorway.
Do we recognize? Is it like a language or is it just sounds?
I would say you recognize it as brutal or brutish grunting. Corin's turn, and he looks and says, there's a bunch of bones here. I wonder if this is the way we would have come in from the other way. He will step back to here, ready in action. Okay, top of the round. Okay, Harmony's turn.
Do we push this desk in front of the door?
Door opens the other way. It ain't gonna do much.
Oh. Alright, should I open this door?
You lead, we follow, Harmony.
Alright, so you interact with object to open that door, Harmony, and it opens momentarily.
Oh, man.
As you look into this room, Harmony, this 30-foot diameter chamber is a horrid sight. Chains drape from the ceiling, each with a large meat hook at the end. 6 of the chains have bodies hanging from them, all in stages of decay, indicating they've been dead for weeks to months. The stench of death is thick in this chamber. The largest, nastiest looking hook hangs motionless above a 5-foot hole in the floor that drops into blackness. Something is lashed to the hook. A pair of lacerated human hands gnawed off at the wrists. The chain extends through a pulley attached to the ceiling and back down to a winch with hundreds of chains spooled around it. Have another handout for you guys on this one.
I hope this isn't an image. Oh, it is.
I shut the door.
Alright, so interact with object to open it. It sounds like now you'd like to use your action to shut it.
That's correct.
Alright, you shut the door and that horrid sight is dispelled from your vision.
Unless we can get our pursuer in there, I'm not sure that's going to be much use to us.
Then we have to fight him here.
And, Adam, this direction, I'm just looking at a set of stairs that are completely caved in.
You are looking at a big pile of bones, and you can see that you would have to move through the bones to ascend the stairs. It looks very similar to the bones you saw from the other way as you were looking down when you originally looked in that direction. So yes, you think this will essentially link you back up to that horrid smelling room with the really fancy entrance above.
Oh my god, guys, I think this is the way that Elliot wanted to come. And I've used up everything, so.
Okay, Elliot.
Okay. Adam, I know it's been difficult doing drop and pick up with the torches. I promise if this guy dies, I'll make a person with dark vision for you. But I'm gonna sheath my sword and pick up the torch that's on the ground here at my feet.
So you're going to interact with object to sheath your sword and then action to grab the torch?
Yep.
Okay, you do so.
And then it looks like everybody's too scared. So I'm going to move back into this corner. Actually, Adam, Grass said something about fighting the creature in here. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to leave the torch on the floor. And I'm just going to retreat back to this area here. So that's just... I'll keep my sword in my hand. And I'm going to just ready my action to attack anything hostile if anything comes in melee range. But I don't know what everybody's trying to do. If we're retreating or fighting, it sounds pretty mixed. So.
Okay. Okay, Grask.
Okay, I would like to grab the table in front of me, like here, and just like move it in front of the door to slow him down a little as he enters.
Okay, so I'm going to call that basically grapple the table, move it to front of the door, and place it there to try to provide some barrier, some cover.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll call that an action and say 10 feet of movement, and you just sling it over. So in your hands, I assume you have just a two-handed weapon. So basically, you take a hand off, grab with one arm this desk and kind of flip it onto the side and just shove it against the doors there.
Yep, and then I'm gonna step back further into the room. Say, get ready to fight it when it comes in.
Ready.
Okay, Hugo, your turn.
What? How did I get in front again?
Does he get to try a save again?
Yes.
No whammies, no whammies.
Ah, this time you manage. Maybe it's the separation, not seeing the enemy for quite some time now. You are able to shake off this mortal fear. Maybe still afraid, but not so afraid that you realize it's going to really hamper you badly.
Alright. And I will, again, ready in action to shoot the crossbow when I see a hostile.
Hostile enemy, okay. Alright, before Corin's turn, you're all going to notice as this door to your north is suddenly pulled back. Revealing a large reddish creature. You see two massive tusks that come off from its face as it's looking in your direction. Those of you, I would say, yeah, I'll give you the little description here. So yeah, it's presuming you probably know what this is. So with prodigious upward curving tusks and blood red skin, this ogre looks even more bestial than the rest of its race, or bestial. Its veins stand out over its heavily muscled body, and its eyes display a madness beyond the promise of cruelty and stupidity inherent in its fellows. So let's see. Hugo, you had a ready to action to fire as soon as you saw something hostile. I presume you will assume this is hostile.
Okay.
Your bolt flies true, striking into the ogre's shoulder here, wounded.
Oops, I did not mean to roll that again. Sorry.
No worries, just click on the word light crossbow in the chat there. Alright, bolt flies true indeed, striking him in the shoulder and wounding him. Alright, and then he pushes through fairly easily with a meaty push of his leg, kicking the desk to the side. He is then going to step into the room here and roars at all of you. On Corin's turn, he is going to go ahead and cast a spell. He does not want to put himself in any more harm, so he's going to accept the fact that there's going to be cover here if he shoots over grasp towards the creature. And I think... oh, that's just a miss. I'm going to take him off advantage. So yes, that will be a missed shot, and he will then back up another step up the stairs. Okay, we'll move to the top of the round, but before Armony's turn... stuff happening off screen that you guys aren't privy to. More stuff happening off screen, and then we move to Harmony.
Sacred flame, sacred flame.
All right, you throw a sacred flame down towards the creature. Let me see if that manages to hit him. It does indeed. He doesn't look to be particularly quick on his feet. The radiant energy strikes him. Go ahead and post damage. Okay. Yeah, it kind of burns him a bit there near his chest. All right. Anything else in your turn, Harmony? Okay, Elliot.
Is he wielding anything at him, like a sword or a club or anything?
As he steps through the door and kicks the desk out of the way, you will notice that he does have a morning star in hand.
I do not know. I've got, because for me to switch my crossbow would require like a full turn of stuff, and I'd have to leave a scimitar behind. I'm actually just going to... the torch is over there also. If I open this door, Adam, is that interact with object or is it action?
Interact with object, unless you've already used your interact with object on this turn.
I have not. So can I sling this door open beside me here?
You can indeed. Alright, so you take a hand off of... so what's in your hands right now?
Scimitar shield.
Scimitar shield. Okay, hang on one second. Let me check what kind of door we got here. For ease of play, I'm going to assume you can kind of shoulder this one open.
Okay. I didn't want to go that way. I just kind of want to give it an alternative route in case we needed to dip really quickly. But I am going to move to... goodness. Here, and then I'm going to get up near Harmony. I can't see because I don't have the torch. So I'm just going to ready an action that if the creature comes in melee at him, I'm going to try to chop at its Achilles and bring it down.
Okay. Grask.
Okay. Grask has been sizing the creature up, and he turns to the group and he says, "New plan. We run again. The bone bit over this." And he will he'll step here and ready an action to attack it when it comes into range with him.
Okay.
I'll take the rear. Run.
Okay, Hugo.
All right. Problem is, I have to grab my rapier.
Actually, I believe your rapier is in the previous room, right? Isn't that where you dropped it as you switched and then moved back here?
I thought I was doing it actually like right here, but either way, I'd have to go towards him. So Hugo just shoots the crossbow at him one more time.
Sure, yeah. Go ahead and make your attack. This time, unfortunately, the bolt does not find its target as your bolt strikes into the wall to the northwest.
Hugo will run to here, and as bonus action, he will telekinetically shove the creature one backwards.
Alright, let's see. So, 25. Yeah, okay, I think that would work. So go ahead and throw a telekinetic shove. No, he is braced and he is not pushed.
Alright, that's it.
Probably because he barely fits through the door.
Alright, you notice the large creature steps over to here. Grask, go ahead and make your attack. You swing, but do not connect. You notice now as the creature actually brings both of its arms in like a muscle builder, like a heavy lifter kind of pose, as he flexes his muscles very strongly, which causes blood from the bolt wounds that he has suffered from Hugo to suddenly spray out, affecting all of you. I need each of you to make a Constitution saving throw, please. Oh, right, I'm Corin, aren't I? Let's see. Okay, so let's see here. So on a failure, bad stuff happens. So on a success, half damage. So we've got Hugo with a success and Corin with a success. So that's 3 points of acid damage to the two of them. For Elliot and Harmony and Grask, you're each going to suffer 7 points of acid damage as this blood strikes into you. On top of that, you feel yourselves enraged with anger and violence. Think of like, if any of you guys ever seen 28 Days Later, how they just go mad? Kind of something like that. Alright, we move to Corin's turn. I think it's at about this time I'm going to actually have to make a morale check here, because even though he succeeded, things are not looking good.
I'm down.
Okay, so good to know. So Harmony unfortunately has dropped to the ground. Corin is still able to stand and fight here and not necessarily flee, but he is limited on what he can do. So I think he will take one more step, ascending the stairs, try to get himself a little bit better of a view as he shoots a firebolt. That will connect, as the firebolt singes the creature and wounds it. Okay, after Corin's turn, move to the top of the round and some stuff that you guys can't see. Grask, you are going to hear from the south with the now opened door. Get them. Bring them to me. And you're going to hear the sound of rattling chains as chains seemingly clink and everything together. Metal on metal, slabbing meat sounds. Armony, death save, please. Remember to set yourself to GM first before rolling that death save. Whoop, did we lose Harmony?
Oh, sorry. It was I didn't catch that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no problem. So set yourself to GM on your character sheet, please, and then throw a death save. I'm assuming when you said you were down by in the negatives, right?
Yep.
Okay, got it.
Sorry about that.
Yep, no worries. So we won't share that result with the rest of the team, but we will move to Elliot's turn. So Elliot, I believe you failed your save? You did.
I did.
Okay, so you are filled with an incredible rage here, and the specific effect of this is you must attack the nearest creature you can see, eschewing ranged or magical attacks in favor of melee attacks.
Okay. Well, I can see 3 people, so...
I would say it's fair to argue that because Harmony is down and not really showing any kind of threat, that you would not include her. So I would say you can either pick what you think Elliot would do or just roll randomly. 1 is Grask, 2 is Hugo.
I think, coming into the Citadel, remember Elliot said something about going one-on-one with Grask to see who's got the tougher metal. So he's going to take a swing at Grask.
All right, you stab forth at Grask, slashing into him and connecting. Go ahead and post damage. Okay, so that'll be 7 damage to Grask.
Can I do my bonus action a second win for myself? Or am I not in control of?
No, let me just double check. I think that'll be fine. Let me just make sure it doesn't have any prohibitions about that. No, yeah, I would say you can certainly do that.
All right, so I will use my second win to give me some HP back. And then, do I have to keep fighting, or can I move to a new target, or?
The only, so basically you can freely move now. There's no prohibition about moving or anything along those lines. It's just you are still under this rage effect. So obviously it will continue to affect you until it falls off.
Well, that's pleasant. I'm just gonna retreat for now. I can't see, so I'll move down this way until I get into the dark and I can't see nothing, and then I'll just kind of look around. Who's next?
All right, Elliot, as you make your way and start pushing through all of these bones, you didn't notice that there was actually a little tripwire here. Roll a d6 for me, please. Okay, so yes, as you cross the tripwire here, bolts are actually going to fly at you from both sides of the wall. So as you step through, it's going to be a dexterity saving throw, please. Okay, and as the bolts fly, even in your rage, as you trip on this, start fuddling through all this pile of bones, you manage to duck under as both of these bolts hit on the other side of the wall, not damaging you. We move to Grask's turn. Grask, you also failed the save, if I recall correctly.
That's right.
Okay, so you are filled with rage. Must attack the creature closest to you. And again, I would argue Harmony doesn't count. She's down.
Yeah, I'm gonna hit this guy.
Right.
Let me think here. Oh, we don't have a lot going on. Yeah, I'm just gonna swing. Here we go.
Critically hitting. Let's see what the crit is.
Effect first.
You can roll the crit effect. Is that what you're asking? The results of the crit?
Do you want the damage or the effect first?
The effect first, because remember, that may change the damage.
Great Axe is slashing, right? Yeah.
Yes. Okay, that's true crit, so just go ahead and post the damage. We'll take them both. Alright, you slash into the creature mightily and wound him.
Okay, bonus action, I'm going to use my last charge of Hungry Jaws to try and bite him.
Okay. Unfortunately, your jaws get caught up in this part metal armor he is wearing, and it does no damage.
Okay, I will step. No, I don't want to step anywhere, because then I'll get beat down. Oh, I think I'm stuck here. Yeah, that's me. I'm done.
Okay, on the big ogre's turn, he is going to smash down at you, Grask. So first, he swings his Morning Star, and because you are wounded, he goes into a... Oh, I'm sorry, did I skip? I did skip Hugo, my bad. Hugo, it is your turn.
Alright, so Hugo sees Harmony dying in front of him. Doesn't have a healing potion or anything, but he will try... Am I allowed to attempt a medicine check to try and stabilize her?
You can, as long as you have a free hand. What is currently in your hands?
I have a light crossbow.
Sure, yeah. So you take a hand off your light crossbow, grab some gauze or whatever it is from your side, try to do so. Throw me a blind check medicine, and we'll see if this is enough to stabilize her. It seems to have done the trick. Harmony, you are no longer rolling death saves as you have been stabilized.
Okay, and then I guess he'll step forward and try to telekinetically shove the creature one more time back.
Sure, yeah, go ahead and throw another telekinetic shove. We'll see if that works. No, unfortunately, this huge meaty opponent is not easily pushed.
Alright, that's the end of his turn.
Alright, on the opponent's turn, why don't you go ahead and pass your turn there, Hugo? He is going to smash down upon Grask with a Morning Star, and because you are wounded, Grask, he has a Blood Frenzy, making your defensive rolls at disadvantage. Making this Morning Star connect for 13 points of piercing damage.
Halved, that's 6. I'm down.
Alright, why halved?
Because of Stone Skin? Oh, no, that's piercing. Yeah, no, okay, not even halved.
So he smashes you down to the ground, steps over you, and then reaches forth towards you, Hugo, and attempts to bite you. Defensive roll, please, Hugo. As the jaws come in, you back away from this and are not struck. I believe your AC may be including a shield right now, but with the crossbow you won't have that on. But either way, even if I take that off, you still evade that strike, so no worries. Okay, from the other room, more sounds of chains and all of that occurring. Again, I'm going to throw another save for Corin here. Yeah, now Corin is terrified, seeing what's going down, seeing a couple of his allies down, seeing Elliot doing his best to retreat. He is also going to do the same. So he will start pushing through these bones. The tripwire is broke, won't affect again, seemingly. He is going to climb through and essentially ascend to the other side. I'm going to move him off map. Okay, top of the round before Harmony's turn. We've got some more stuff occurring. From the other room, no longer on a meat hook, comes a partial corpse moving its way into the room. And another. Okay, Harmony, and no longer death save, so you are on the ground with 0 HP, so nothing you need to do. Your turn simply ends. We move to Elliot's turn. So, Elliot, go ahead and throw me a Constitution saving throw, please. All right, you managed to fight off this blood rage and are no longer under its effects.
Well.
And I'm assuming you are exactly where you are on the map. So if you wish to obviously move up further, obviously just declare that and we can handle it from there.
Yeah, but man. Adam, you are tricky. Okay. I am going to that's interesting for sure. I'm going to do I want to do one thing. It's a Hail Mary, but I'm gonna try. No, actually, I'm gonna skip the Hail Mary. I'm gonna move into Harmony space. I don't like it, and I can't, as a person, leave people behind. So I'm gonna take a big old swipe at the big guy. Why not?
Okay. Yes, your scimitar does get through his armor. And you wound him.
Okay. I know it may give me an opportunity attack, but I am going to go ahead and try to retreat back a little.
Indeed it will. As you step away, the big ogre is going to try to smash you with his Morning Star. And yes, you do manage to evade that Morning Star as it smashes into the wall behind you.
Alright. I'll hold my turn here. It is 1 second, sorry. Nope, it is an action. Okay, yep, in my turn.
Okay, Grasp, GM death save, please. Perfect, thank you. Moving on to Hugo.
Question: to pick her up and like carry her away, Harmony. What would that be, like a action?
So action to grapple her. She obviously won't be able to resist you, so no check needed there. So essentially, that's just like you hoisting her over your back, and then you would move at half speed as you try to get further away.
I'm gonna shout out of character to Hugo and say, if you grab her and retreat, you won't get far. He'll kill you. Our best chance to kill him.
That's in character, but I'll allow it.
I mean, out of turn. Sorry.
No worries. All right, Hugo, hearing that, still your turn. What would you like to do?
Okay. So, man, I hate to leave her, but you might be right. So, since I saw him take that attack of opportunity already, so I can safely move away, right?
Unless he has some special ability that gives him more opportunity attacks, that's a safe assumption.
Okay, so I'm gonna move to there and shoot with the crossbow.
Okay, yeah, you fire a bolt off at the ogre. Unfortunately, no. The angle's different. You strike into the ground with that bolt.
All right, and I'm going to telekinetically pull her body closer.
Okay, that will work.
And that's it.
All right, you notice the ogre, several wounds upon his body. He roars up the stairs towards you all. You heard Scar! Now you fight dead men! And he is going to grapple Grask as he starts moving away with him pretty effortlessly as he is large. He will get on the other side with Grask over his shoulder and then pull the door shut with a free hand. All right, as things keep getting more chaotic here. Corin, you're not sure exactly where he's at, but likely gone. Re-entering the battle that you can now see is the terrible, horrifying looking creature. Harmony's still at 0. Elliot's turn.
All right, Adam, I'm going to use my interact with objects. Can I sheath with that, or is that an action?
No, you can sheath with interact.
Okay, I'm going to sheath with my interact, and as an action, can I spend an action to light up my own torch from my pack? Okay, then that will be what I do. And then I know that there's like bones and stuff in front of me, so I'm just going to use my remaining speed to run away at him.
Okay, so I'm going to assume you ascend, kicking through the bones, and you're basically right at that entrance graphic. For mechanical purposes, I'm going to say you're off map, so I'm going to actually put you to the other layer. You're not going to see anything for a moment here. As we move to Grask, death save, please. Okay, and then we move to Hugo. Hugo, what would you like to do?
Alright, so I'm going to, again, telekinetically pull her closer, one closer.
That'll work.
Do I need to be on the body to pick it up, or is it adjacent?
Adjacent works.
Okay, so then I'll pick her up, and I'll travel along the same path that Elliot went with
Okay,
it.
so action to grapple, and then you're going to start ascending slowly up the stairs.
Yeah.
Okay, so in essence of time here, what I'm going to do is fast forward us a little bit, as most of you are kind of making your way out of here, unfortunately, except for Grask. So as that goes through, what I'm gonna do is actually exit out of combat here, guys. Grask, I'm gonna ask you to roll out your death saves to see how that pans out. So please continue rolling death saves until we get to one or the other. Okay, perfect. So we're gonna pause there for a moment. Oh, how best to handle this, man? This could be interesting. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna change back our music. Okay, so guys, those of you that have escaped, I'm assuming you're trying to do what you can to put distance between yourself and the Scarlet Citadel. It seems as though the opponents are not exiting the Scarlet Citadel out of the area, so as long as you're not trying to, play any kind of games where you try to like stay right at the edge and shoot down or something like that, for the most part it looks like they are not exiting out of the Scarlet Citadel itself. They are content perhaps to allow you to flee. So we flash over to Grask. So Grask, you can't see much of anything because it is quite dark here, but your amazing constitution has caused you to suddenly awaken as you are lumbered on the shoulder of this massive creature. It is walking with you somewhat slowly. That took you, let me just double check rolls. So that would have been like another 12 seconds. So I'm going to see where he would have got in that time. So yes, I'm going to say he's in here. And yeah, so basically what you feel, Grask, is you're being set down against like a wall as you suddenly realize you are conscious. The big guy doesn't seem to notice this right away, assuming that you're obviously just going to be out. Are you doing anything immediately?
No, I think my best chance here is to play dead.
Okay, fair enough. So he is then going to exit, and you're going to hear him close this cell door, and yeah, you're going to hear basically clasps close, and you're going to hear retreating steps as he moves away. So, guys, because of how we are at now, we've still got some time left in the session, so I guess I'm going to say, Grask, as you are currently in a cell, your options are obviously going to be limited. If there's something specific you want to do right away, let me know. You will now have 2 levels of exhaustion, right? So you already have that one, another drop to the ground, so that will be 2 levels of exhaustion. So I'll go ahead and flag your token with that if you want to update your sheet. Rest of the team, you guys again. Oh, sorry, go ahead, Grask.
Said done.
Oh, okay, perfect. So rest of the team, as you guys are making some distance from the Scarlet Citadel, I would say eventually you would catch up with Corin, and he would go on to explain to you that there was no way you guys could possibly survive that. There was way too many enemies, and they were coming from all sides, and he was just terrified, and so forth. And I'm sure most of you can probably understand that or empathize with his point of view there. But he then asks, what is the plan? And that's where I'm going to look to you guys and say, hey, guys, what is the plan now that you've escaped, but you've got a wounded Harmony with you guys as Hugo's carrying her on the shoulder. Let's see, Hugo, Elliot, and Corin are all slightly injured. So you guys, I will put you probably, let's put you on the outside of the, let's put you on this one. And I will move Grask off there because, of course, he's not there at the moment. And you guys obviously would be in a slightly different place. But again, I'm assuming you guys are trying to put distance between yourself and the Scarlet Citadel. So maybe what I'll do is, rather than even being in a tactical sense here, let's go ahead and move us back to the outskirts of the village map. Let's do that. So imagine you guys are still a couple miles from Red Tower, but to sort of represent that, I'm going to put Harmony's token way up here at the top. So you guys are still out, a couple miles from Red Tower, the village of Red Tower. You're catching your breath, gasping, all of that type of stuff. What do you plan to do?
Can I stop whoever's got Harmony on their back and check to see if I can see how long she's going to be out?
Okay, so Harmony was stabilized. So Harmony, I'm going to ask you to GM roll. So /GM roll 1d4, please. And then I'll ask Elliot to go ahead and throw a blind medicine check.
You said 1d4?
Yes, please. Okay, so she's obviously been knocked unconscious. As you try to look at her and kind of get like a quick, diagnostic on her, more or less. She looks like she's just a little bit unconscious. You think she'll probably be rousing fairly shortly, next hour or two?
So I recommend, see if we can. I'll look at everybody and kind of put my hands on my knees and say, well, we should find somewhere to catch our breath and let her wake up before we make our way back.
Yeah. What the heck was that back there?
Not quite sure, but I believe that trap door we jumped down into took us right into the middle of everything.
It ended up coming from all sides. Couldn't even get one of them.
I'm gonna, like, this close of trees beside us, Adam. I'm gonna see if I can, like, dip over into there and see if I can find something safe that looks like dry. Good place to lay her down and catch our breath.
Yep, so visually you're not actually where you are on the map, but yes, there's certainly woods all in this area, so looking around for a relatively safe place, go ahead and just throw me a blind survival check, and we'll see how well you do finding something appropriate. Yeah, I mean, again, it's obviously no luxury accommodations or anything like that, but you do find, an area of the woods. Looks fairly safe. These woods here have a sort of friendly, almost peaceful, like, tranquility to them. Think of, like, just your average standard woods that just feels great to be in, really good nature, beauty, all that kind of thing. Nothing nefarious about this, no evil, nothing like that. So pretty much the whole area looks pretty reasonable to you. So as you kind of push out here, find a little area where there's like a bit of tree overhang to give you some cover and all that stuff. You kind of, rest up for a little bit. Is your intention here to try to wait until Harmony is conscious?
Yeah, I think that's safe, and then make our way back into town. We got 4 people who can move instead of trying to carry somebody.
Okay, fair enough. Any thoughts from the rest of the team?
I think that's a good idea. I mean, if we're going back in there, we're not full strength. We're crazy.
Okay, fair enough. So 2 of the 3, and only the 2 conscious people that are in the team right now that are player characters, I will say, yeah, that makes sense. You guys wait. It's about 50 minutes later as you're relaxing in the woods, keeping a very vigilant eye towards the Scarlet Citadel, just making sure nothing is coming out towards you. I will ask for everybody to throw me, or conscious folks, I should say, throw me blind perception checks at this point. So Hugo, during this time as you're in the woods trying to be careful, you do spot what looks to be that harpy returning. As you can see, a flying figure overhead, and as you focus in on it, it does look to be that harpy. It seems to circle around the top, almost like it's scanning around inside of the Scarlet Citadel, likely looking for your group. And it eventually circles a bit and then seems to land inside of the ruined area. So kind of similar to where that trapdoor was. You get a quick visual as that's probably where she descended.
That bird lady's back. Or the bird that sings. She returned.
Yeah, Grass called it a harpy. At least we know if we're going to get back in there, we're going to have to tangle with that thing again.
And if I didn't already mention, Harmony, at this point in time, you do become conscious, so you have 1 HP now. As your eyes open and you realize you got a bit of a headache, you're a bit exhausted here, 1 level of exhaustion, but you are alive.
What happened?
Hugo saved your life.
Where's Grask? Grask!
I couldn't get him. They took him.
Grask!
Yep, they put him over his shoulder and walked right on out of the room. All we could do was just retreat.
Oh my god. That was insane.
Alright. New rule, though. If we go back, because we're all gonna go back for Grask, right?
Of course.
I still gotta find my brother, so yeah, I plan on going back.
No more opening doors until the first thing is killed. We're just getting more and more of these bad guys spewing out.
The issue is that I don't think we could have taken that armored guy in that room with the wizard. I mean, the wizard wasn't even attacking us. If he started throwing spells, I think it was a done deal for us.
Maybe he just likes to watch, though. It might be like sport for him to watch these creatures kill adventurers.
Could be.
I can't believe that an abandoned location was so populated.
Looked like cultists, maybe. Obvious pleasure in torture.
Yeah, there's a lot of weird stuff in there, I'm sure.
Well, how about we take some time, Harmony? You catch your breath and bandage your wounds, and then we make our way back to Red Tower, I suppose. I mean, unless y'all want to just turn around and go right back in.
I don't think we can. I think
Yep,
especially with Harmony looking, no offense, like she does right now. I think we need to sleep on it.
You think there's any place in Red Tower that we could learn about harpies or ogres or...
I'm sure we could ask around. Maybe Matilda knows a thing or two. I mean, she seemed to have a wealth of knowledge last time.
Thanks for
Alright.
saving me.
It honestly was not me. Hugo pulled you to him telekinetically, and we retreated out. That was about it.
Telekinetically?
Yes, indeed. My brother could do stuff similar to that.
Wow. Are you guys all special?
Don't know what you mean.
You know, like something special in your blood. You guys scions or something?
Like I told that lady back in town, I'm just an orphan, really. I ain't got much about me.
We all
Well-
almost died back there.
Said your brother's doing crazy stuff. This guy's doing crazy stuff.
Well, what about you?
I'm just a regular half elf. You guys has got something about you.
I'm just trying to find my brother.
What about Grask?
I'm trying to
Grask
find
have something
grass.
about him?
I'll help. He was nice. And I still didn't get to fight him.
That's a good question. Did I ever see Grass do anything that would have revealed his bloodline or?
So what I would say is that nothing anybody has done so far would give you the impression automatically that they have a bloodline. Most of blood abilities are fairly nondescript, right? So even, for example, when Grask did his stone skin thing, it's not like he's waving his hands and making magic words. He's just essentially calling upon his blood, and it changes his body a bit. So unless they choose to describe it as something really open and dramatic, or the ability itself is like you can't deny it, right? Then I would assume you don't notice anything in particular about it.
Well, I think it's pretty weird when a self-described fighter starts telekinetic people. But
Sure, absolutely, yeah. And if Armony associates like telekinesis perhaps with blood ability, she might make that connection.
okay, cool. Well, regardless of whether Grask is a commoner or a scion, he protected me in the long, perilous journey as fellow outcasts. We've got to go back for him. We've got to get healed up and figure out a plan.
He damn sure don't deserve to be tortured. That's for sure.
Didn't you say there was a room full of hooks?
Well, when I went into that room where the old man was, and I looked over to my left, I could see into that chamber, and it looked like there was all sorts of tools on the table, and there was that man whelping from beyond. I assume that there's probably various torture chambers in there.
I guess the sooner we rest up, the better.
Sure.
All right, so is the plan to try to make the couple-mile trek back to Red Tower at this point?
I think so, right? Or do you guys just want to camp?
What's the time of day looking like, Adam? I mean, is it kind of like...
You
getting
guys
towards
left
evening?
fairly early. It was only a couple of miles there and a little bit of exploring and searching. I would say it's probably early afternoon at this point, like noon.
I'm thinking maybe we, mechanically we give ourselves a short rest so everybody can, uh, take a hit dice or anything that they needed to before traveling, because traveling's always risky. Just what I recommend.
I mean, I'll take it if that's legit. I'll take my short rest hit die.
So it sounds like you guys would like to spend an hour in the forest here trying to recuperate, and then make your way back to Red Tower.
Yep.
Sound good, everybody? I think so.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so let's see here real quick. Yes, your hour passes by, uneventfully so, and you all will qualify for a short rest.
Oh, I did mine privately, but I used the hit dice.
Yes, and I believe it will automatically update your HP after you do that. If it doesn't, let me know. It means I'll just have to enable that API script.
No, it did right away.
Perfect. Okay, so yes, you guys have spent this hour trying to recuperate. Grask, during this time, as you're in this cell, because you're conscious, even though they're not aware of it, you would technically qualify for this short rest as well.
Okay, let me open that sheet up. Moving it from the recycle bin.
He faked death for an hour and got a short rest.
Okay, so guys, I assume you then want to make your way back to Red Tower based on what we discussed. So, yes, you spent a couple of hours, or not even a couple of hours. It's 2 miles, so we'll say 30 minutes or so as you're walking around being cautious, trying to make sure things are going okay. You find yourself back on the outskirts of Red Tower.
Well, far from successful first adventure, but we will continue on.
Do you think maybe Matilda would help us out?
What do you mean by help us out?
Give us a place to spend the night and some advice on harpies and...
I mean, I doubt she just lends her home to strangers, but if you need money to pay for a night at the inn, I can cover you, Armani.
Oh, awesome, because I have 5 silver pieces to contribute.
Yeah, ain't no worry from me. I got you. I'm gonna need to replenish some crossbow bolts, and I think I need to get a lock-picking kit. There was a lot of doors in there, and I can't imagine all of them are gonna be unlocked.
Does anybody have the money for a healer's kit?
Don't quite know how much to cost, but I'm working with, just 11 gold pieces here.
Very light on gold. I was expecting my payday already, and it has not come.
All right, well,
I have one of those lockpicking kits.
I don't want to put you out. Hugo, can I buy it from you?
Why don't I just let you borrow it from time to time?
I mean, yeah, but I'd like to have my own. I grew up with a set, but I left it back in Prowglaive when I left to find my brother.
Hey, Adam, what is required for me to use my herbalism kit to make a potion of healing?
So the idea with a herbalism kit is you head out into the woods and you search around and try to find ingredients and so forth to combine, which will then allow you to make a potion of healing. In general, you're always going to have to pay at least part of the cost. So if, let's say, there was potions for healing available at a shop, you typically would pay 50 gold for those. With an herbalism kit and enough time and access to the components in the woods, you can usually cut that cost down to like 25 gold pieces plus the components to craft a healing potion.
Okay.
Alright guys, so I assume you're going to once again avoid this pond, move through the farmland, the crops, and make your way into Red Tower?
Yep.
Alright, as you guys do so, entering on the northwest gate here, you're going to notice the guard as he sees you approaching from a distance. You see him actually looking like he's jotting something down. And as you approach, you see he gives you a nod and says, "Welcome back."
They charge us again, so help me God.
They're
Not
going
much.
to.
I think the tax man said we only had to pay one time.
That
I
better be the
presume you're
case.
saying that to Armony and not the guard, correct?
Yeah.
I'm not paying for the privilege to rescue my friend Grask.
Hey, Mr. Guardman, you got like a general store or like a armory or something around here?
Yes, of course. We've got stuff like that. What are you looking for?
We went into the Citadel and there was quite a fair amount of doors with locks on them. I think I need a lock picking kit to help us get a little further inside.
Lock-picking kit, huh? Well, maybe the smithy would have something like that. If not, you could check with the... yes, maybe there is another folk in town that do a little bit of stuff like that. But I would check with the smithy.
I appreciate it. I promise I'm up to no good. And then I'm gonna wink at him and walk away.
You hear
Just
he kind
kidding.
of just like chuckles to himself as you walk by.
He said something else, but he put it off. Adam, I'm gonna send you something as a GM.
All right.
It's my background. I'm gonna look out for not the good version, but the bad version. If that makes sense. As we're walking to the general store that he pointed out.
You're asking guards about lockpicks now. That might not be the smartest move, Elliot.
Maybe you just don't know how to talk to him, Hugo.
We've never gotten along. Till now, I suppose.
Well, you know, the Black Baroness, she's a little bit more strict over there in Proudglaive than I assume her lawful hand makes it all the way out here. But nevertheless, I really do mean no harm. I'm not trying to rob people in the middle of the night.
Yeah, but how does he know that?
As I told him. And I ain't got no reason to go against my word.
So
Let's find
to
this-
that second point, Elliot, I would say on the little bit of time you've spent here so far, you don't spot anything like that.
I just, from now on, after the guard mentioned that, as I'm spending time here, Adam, this is what I'm gonna, passively, I'm gonna be keeping my eye out for that.
Fair enough. Yeah, I will assume. So once you've had a bit of time under your belt here and actually, explored the village or spent time talking with the folks, that might, assuming there is something like that, that might become more apparent. But yeah, I would say just walking through, there's, nothing that jumps out to you based on that features description.
Yeah, fair enough.
Can somebody spare me like 5 gold so I can get a healing kit?
I mean, yeah, let's get ourselves over to the store, and we got that discount too, so maybe we can get a fair price on a few items.
That'd be dope.
All right. Yeah, I need a new blade.
That one is quite thin. Adam, can I try to lead everybody in the direction that he pointed out the guard did for the general store?
Sure. And just for the record, Hugo, we are assuming you left your blade down there, right?
Yeah, because I had to drop it to switch to the crossbow. So
Right.
by the time that guy came charging in, I couldn't get it.
Fair enough. So yes, instead of a thin blade, Elliot, when you look towards Hugo, you'll notice an empty scabbard there. So yeah, party, you start following Elliot as you make your way around the ruined temple here, and you are looking specifically for where he said the blacksmith, correct?
Yeah, I guess we can go to the blacksmith, but I was looking for more just like a general, just a general store where I think, basic equipment and things like that would be, because I think Harmony needs that healer's kit, so I don't mind stopping there first.
So I would say so far you haven't found what you would consider to be a general store here in the village, but discussing amongst yourselves and looking specifically for a healer's kit, you think that maybe an appropriate location for that would be the Temple of Halen, which is in the this location over here.
Check it out.
Yeah, sounds fine. We can go that route.
All right. As you approach this building, you know that notice that it's sort of this odd circular building, but you do quickly spot the familiar sword and sunburst sigils of Halen, the primary deity, the patron deity of Anweir, and most common deity that you would expect to see in this land. As you approach this temple, you can see that some folks are actually just exiting, and you notice that there is a woman standing behind as they're exiting and sort of thanking them, speaking to each one of them in turn as they exit, and then she turns and spots you all and says, welcome to Halen's Grace. Would you like to come in and speak or attend service?
Of course, praise be. And I am a practitioner of Laramie myself, but it is wonderful to find a temple of worship.
And you notice she kind of gives you this almost just like kind of stilted look and says, I see. Well, it's rare to find somebody of a worshiper of that such here, but I presume you are probably one of the adventurers that has recently come to the village.
To be honest, I've traveled a far way, but we're in search of a healing kit. Do you happen to have anything like that here that we could gather for our future adventures?
You notice her expression seems to relax a bit here, Harmony. I see. You wish to aid your allies in case they are injured. Such a task is doing Halen's work indeed, for he protects the righteous. Yes, we have something along those lines, though we will expect a donation to cover costs. I believe for a healer's kit we would be looking for about 6 gold pieces.
Amen. It is Halen's work indeed. And as such, it would be ideal if he smiled upon us today and gave us a deal.
She's broke, ma'am. And to be quite honest, we delved into the Scarlet Citadel, and one of our friends was captured and gravely wounded. And she herself, Harmony here, she almost fell as well. And we were ill-equipped and ill-prepared for what lay inside. And although we could afford that, we're asking for a little bit of grace so that we may protect ourselves further by few things of weaponry as well.
And are you a follower of Halen, little one?
Since the day I was born, I presume, but my old sister at the orphanage in Proudglaive, she was a big practitioner. Save as many as you can, you know.
You notice she again sort of raises an eyebrow at this, and she kind of starts rattling off some pretty typical, what you would assume to be almost like religious catechism type stuff. Go ahead and give me a blind religion check to see if you recognize any of this. And then, just for my own knowledge, is Elliot actually a follower of Halen? Like, has he, worshipped Halen? Has he attended any kind of religious classes? Does he consider himself a believer of Halen?
0%. Yeah, he would probably consider himself agnostic. He always found that other people believing in the gods was kind of silly because he grew up in the dirt, had to work for everything. So he's lying through his teeth to see if he can get his friend a deal.
Fair enough. So yeah, go ahead and give me that blind check, and we'll see if there's anything you can pull out of what she's saying to try to make sense. Okay, so as she's saying these things to you, you find yourself stumbling frequently as you're trying to reply back to her, because essentially all this stuff she's saying is religious lingo and jargon. It is not lining up with whatever you're thinking. You try to fill in the gaps as best you can, but eventually you see she just shakes her head and says, "I'm sorry, the cost for a healer's kit is 6 gold pieces."
All right, lady, we'll take it then. And I'll hand over 6 gold pieces, and I'll look at Harmony and say, "Now, I expect if I go down, you heal my ass with that thing."
Please, sir, if you could confine yourself from such language in the sight of Halen's house.
I'm sorry, halfling means half donkey, right? I'm half ass. That's what I meant. I meant no offense.
And you see she again just gives you this very unhumoristic look. She takes the 6 gold pieces and says, "Wait here a moment. I shall get the healer's kit for you."
10% my ass.
She exits. Yep, go ahead, Hugo.
I don't think she likes you.
I ain't never been too religious. Don't really care neither. But for Harmony's sake, I was trying to be respectful.
It's just a few moments later before the woman, presumably a priestess, returns with a healer's kit, and you notice she intentionally motions towards Hugo. As you're kind of standing there, you realize you didn't have any of these conversations, but she motions for you to approach Hugo.
All right, so Hugo approaches.
And
Yes.
she looks towards you, Hugo, and she says, "Am I safe to presume you are a follower of Halen? You kind of have the look, though I must admit, I can't exactly place you."
I mean, I'm not very religious, if that's what you're getting at. I'm sorry.
You notice her eyes flash by, and it's almost like all of you can kind of read this expression on her face, because perhaps you've seen it before in your adventures here in this land, dealing with the common folk. Mostly you've heard that Red Tower is very welcoming to outsiders, but there is this little bit of separation, distance between you and her, as you can tell. 2 half-elves in your party, a halfling, and a human of Kanasi origin. Nobody really seems to reflect this area right around here. So it's not as though she's like out and out rude or anything, but you can tell she doesn't, she's not connecting to any of you on that sort of "you're one of us" type of mentality. But anyhow, she eventually just kind of nods and hands the healer's kit, almost without a whole lot of fanfare, and kind of just trying to get this over with in a sense, as she pushes it into your hands, Elliot, and then looks towards you at all and says, "I certainly hope that Halen shows his favor upon you, though if there are no followers in your group, no worshippers, I fear for your safety."
Yeah, well, maybe I'll take it up.
So,
He hasn't helped me yet.
Perhaps you
reply
haven't prayed to him
that-
yet.
I say Halen is... I say duty without love is a stern and unrewarding thing.
And you notice she looks towards you and just kind of shakes her head slowly, and she says, "You must get your head out of parties and out of pleasure and music and beauty and focus on the present, especially if you hope to be a stolid ally for your friends here. and be able to support them when they need it.
She's done just fine.
And with this, you see she just gives this kind of perfunctory nod and says, well, there's your healer's kit. I wish you the best. And she turns back without waiting for a response and enters into the temple.
I'll hand the kid over to Harmony.
I say, Halen is all about duty and service, and it's honestly, the world is about love and beauty.
Yeah, I get all of that, but right now I'm particularly attached to trying to find my brother and making sure Grask isn't being strapped to a table and endlessly tortured.
So as we are near the end of our session time here, guys, technically a minute over, just trying to wrap today's session up and make sure we're good and well prepared for next week. Is it your intent here to try to sleep overnight before heading back to the Scarlet Citadel? Are you trying to get back there quickly? Give me an idea, group, what you're thinking.
I vote overnight.
Yeah, I think sleep overnight.
Yeah, I agree. I need to get some crossbow bolts too, so.
Okay, if your plan is to sleep here overnight, that will qualify you guys for a long rest, and based on what you've accomplished today, that will get you to level 2. So I'll ask everybody to level their characters up to 2. If you can do so no later than, say, by next Thursday, if it's going to be later than that, please give me a heads up. I'll just do a quick review, make sure to add in any special tracking type functions on the sheets, and then when we pick up next week, we will have hopefully our full group back at level 2 and be able to push on and return back to the Scarlet Citadel. Any questions, comments, thoughts before we wrap up today's session?
I'm sorry, Grask. I'm sorry, Grask.
We're coming for you, Grask.
I probably should have saved you.
Hang on.
Just a tear.
All right, well, good deal. Hope everybody enjoyed the session. Yes, it was a very challenging one, and as you guys know, I've mentioned this several times, Scarlet Citadel is hard, guys. So yeah, we'll see how this goes, see if Grask has survived this imprisonment overnight, see if you guys manage to recover him. But all that and more will be on next adventure of Scarlet Citadel. See you all in a week.
Have a great
Thanks,
week, everybody.
Adam.
Night, everybody.
Night,
Have a
everyone.
good week.